Welcome everyone to 2017 Blade&Soul Korea Finals. My name is Joseph, and along with me, as always, is Ending Life. We are here for day 3 of our tournament. Now we're at the final day where we get to see the challengers teams, and we will see which challengers teams make it up to the champion stage.
Yeah. Today we have Superman, we have No Name, we have, who else do we have? We're gonna have everybody except GFAM and G-Touring who are already, taking the first seat. So it's gonna be exciting. We're gonna have a total of 4 games today, or 4 matches.
Yes.
So it's gonna be a little bit longer than last week, but I'm excited for a longer cast.
As you mentioned, Ending, we already have GFAM and G-Touring who are #1 seeds from their respective groups, and they've already made it up to the next round of the tournament where they will be facing off against these champion stage teams, the 4 teams that have already accumulated themselves into with the fighting points they have collected over Season 1 and Season 2. So they're already waiting in the seats, and along with GFAM and G-Touring now will be waiting to decide who will be the #2 seeds from each group. So Group A and Group B, we're going to get 2 seeds and 2 teams really just advancing to the next round, which will be happening actually tomorrow. So today will be the last day of the challenger stage, and we will move right on to the champion stage starting tomorrow.
Oh yes.
So it's going to be an exciting thing. So last hope for these rookie teams and the relatively teams that really want to really make a statement for themselves, because I think all the teams really want to have a chance at Worlds this year.
Yeah, and on screen we see the prize pool. It seems like so many zeros. First place gets like roughly 50 million Korean won. Not dollars, unfortunately.
That is about 50,000 US dollars equivalent.
Yeah.
But the champion stage teams is what we're going to be focused on, that we're going to actually see them starting tomorrow. GC Busan Blue, GC Busan Red, the familiar face as always. And Coup d'etat and IDEPS will also be waiting in line. But to be surprised, you see GC Busan Red with 900 points, actually the 4th place among those 4 teams. They were already considered the favorites in any year you see the Blade&Soul tournaments here in Korea. But regardless, they will be waiting for the teams to advance, and the 2 teams, like we said as before, have already been decided. Now we're going to get to see which are going to be the #2 seeds heading into the next stage.
Yeah, and we always tell you over and over, so you guys probably already know, this is the game rules. Mix and match, best of 4, best of 7. We'll let you know before the match starts if if it's a best of 4 or best of 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys get the gist of how the mix and match goes on now, since it's been going on from Season 1 this year. So this is the 3rd season, preferably. So it's kind of easy. And there we go. Today we have today's matchups.
Yes. And Superman and No Name will be the first ones to face each other. They were actually the losers out of last week's matches. And Superman and No Name will be facing off each other to decide which team is going to be facing off Chobo to decide the #2 seed from Group A. And the same thing will happen with Group B, and Triple J and O, will face off against each other to see who's going to go up against Full Swing.
Yep, and it's kind of weird looking at Chobo up there, because their name is Noobs. So they should be the losers team, and Superman should be up there, just look at the name.
Just for clarification,
just for
Chobo in Korean means beginners. We can also call them noobs as well. So whatever you like to call them, but regardless of what their team names were, they were probably the most impressive rookie team we saw in last week's matches. So we have a lot of expectations for these guys now for the showings they've already shown us. So we like to say that in Group A, Chobo will be the kind of the heavy favorites to make it up as the #2 seed, but we'll have to see. Keep an eye out for the surprises that are still likely to come.
Yeah, Joe, but don't get all your bets on Chobo, because I still have some hope for No Name.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they're painting a big picture, like I told you. Like
big
they lost all the matches because just enough so they don't get knocked out. And then now they're going to beat Superman, and then they're going to beat Chobo, and they're going to take the 2nd seed.
And they're going to go to Worlds, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So big picture is probably what No Name is expected to see. We have to actually see whether they can done, or the big picture will be completely ruined for the first match. We have to see about that. But but regardless of that, we'll have to see the first match, and they will be the likely contenders to Chobo. And Chobo, really, like we've always been saying, is the impressive team that we always have to watch out for. You guys have to watch out for this, especially this player named Youngjin Shin, who's been on the Assassin, and even his last name is Sin. So he's been born to play the Assassin. So he was probably the most impressive player we saw in
Definitely.
this entire last week. And regardless of his rookie status, he really just showed up and showed he had no fear against these professional players that have already been shown as veteran status. And this guy's going to impress once again today. That's what I'm expecting.
Yeah, and like since we're on Shin, the guy who's on the assassin from Chobo, last week I saw him go up to Shinhancard,
Literally.
the 2-time world champion winner, and he was basically asking to like get an autograph.
Okay.
Like that's how much of a fan he was. And now he's playing in the same tournament as Shinhancard, and that just shows how if you try hard,
sure,
you can make it up here.
Yeah, and the try hard is what he's trying to do. But regardless of that, Yongjin Shin, he's been the kind of the signature point of last week's matches, and it's just exciting to always have these new faces really make a contention as to really making a name for yourself. And the first matches you'll be excluding obviously Yongjin Shin because he is going to be in the second match to come. But the first match will be exciting because we have to see who are the better teams of the two rookie teams we'll be facing off. But regardless, the bigger question will be for Group A is that either of these two teams, will they be able to outdo Chobo? That's the big question here.
Yeah, that is true. And since we don't have the VCRs today because, we don't know who's going to make we didn't know who's going to make it up here.
Sure.
We don't know who's going to make it up there to go up against Chobo. But yes, we're probably going to have team predictions, like the fan votes that we always do.
And it gives us more room to talk.
Oh, yeah,
so
definitely.
Wonderful.
And right now on screen, we have Superman.
And Gyeongbok Min, Sunwoo Park, and Hyunsung Song are the names here. So obviously you guys don't recognize these names as much as we don't either because these are very much new players forming a new team. They didn't impress as likely as expected probably from a rookie team last week around, but these three players have a lot of classes registered and we don't know exactly what they're going to go with, but I think to our surprise, we have to just expect they're going to go with the best picks possible and try to get an edge because just winning out this first match will be crucial for these guys.
Yeah, definitely. They don't want to give up. They don't want to give up any rounds because this isn't the preliminaries. This isn't the beginning of group stages. Now this is the decider whether you're going to make it up there to fight for the seed for Worlds or not. So everybody, not only Superman, even No Name, they have to try. Like I said, they have to start painting.
And that is very true, Ending, because we have to see, we've been giving second opportunities to these teams that, if you lose once, you can still make your contentions to the World Championships in the future. But now you see this team along with this team No Name here, these two teams, it's basically their last chance to have a contention into Worlds. And you see these names here, Yundong-oh, Uri Lim, and Irhan Jang are their names here. They don't have as many classes registered for each of their names, but this is a team that also did not impress as much, but we can't expect too much from a rookie team as always. Chobo just is a surprise for us, but other than that, these rookie teams are always going to be a hit or miss, and they were basically a miss last week around, so we have to see how, from both of the teams doing not as good as they probably wanted, we have to see which is going to be the better team this time around.
Yeah, like I said, Joel, don't bring them down too much. They're painting big pictures. I'm telling you, you got to wait it out until the finish line.
How much were you paid by No Name to say that? At this point, I'm just getting curious now.
We're on cast now, Joel.
Okay, so we can talk about this privately, but you guys can speculate.
Look at this. Do you see this?
I'm telling you, No Name is paying a lot of people
big
to do
picture.
things.
94-6.
They're paying you to make those comments, and they're paying the fans to make those votes to get them 94%. So whether these really numbers are coming from is really a curiosity because
no, it's a fan base pick. So maybe they do have more fans on the Blade&Soul community. Yeah.
But also I like to note that I've been talking with the Korean casters before today's matches and like to talk about their expectations for some of these teams. And actually one of the analysts in the Korean booth, they were actually saying Superman is looking to be stronger than Chobo, and he actually personally picked Superman over Chobo. So that's quite of a statement from such an analyst. So we have to see whether his analysis will be correct. But for the first match, we will have Sunwoo Park on the Assassin with Irhan Jang on the Blade Master, it seems, and that's going to be the first match coming up.
Yep, I am very excited always to see an Assassin on the field because, an Assassin with the mobility, with all the stealth and the sneaky, stealthy. It's always fun to watch an Assassin play. However, it's a Blade Master. I wonder if this Blade Master is going to be able to take care of this Assassin. Like we always talked about, They are both fairly new teams, so we don't have too much information. So we'll just have to see the match and see how it plays out.
And one note that we have to mention is that the impressive players throughout this tournament so far, as what we've seen from last week, was the assassins that have been coming up, but we have to see whether this assassin can step it up to the plate, because the first match will be coming right your way. It's going to be singles and coming right here, so let's get it on. And here we go for the first match of the first series of the today, and Superman versus No Name will be our first contenders. They have to really win out all of these matches in hopes of really making it to the next round, because they have a lot of ways to go before they even have hopes of making it to Worlds, but this is the first stage to do it.
Yeah, so this match is going to be best out of 4. First team to reach 3 points will make it up to verse Chobo in a best of 7. So right now, this is the first match worth 1 point.
Oh,
there we go.
And I should say that he gets him into the aerial onto the lightning draw, and that's going to be enough damage, putting him onto the stun. It actually keeps the escape held, so Shinhancard still has escape available if he
There we go, body swap.
There he goes with the stun, and that's going to be the bombard, putting a decent amount of damage before Ilhanjang is forced to use the escape. Now Ilhanjang is frozen up. He's going to be looking to do something with that. He doesn't have the escape available.
This is definitely not looking good for the Blade Master, because the assassin, if you notice, he does not have the Lotus of Escape, which means he...
stun.
Yeah, oh, there we go.
The bombard,
might be it.
That might be it. This is the damage to the stun
it.
without this escape available. More bombard is coming your way, and that's going to be the end for the first game. And as expected with the assassins, it's always about that first escape. And once you really have that escape gone, the next one will be an immediate death.
Yeah, you do not want to let the assassin know that you've used both of your escapes back to back.
Exactly.
Especially when the assassin did not spec into Lotus of Escape. So he definitely spec'd into more damage.
Sure.
And if you're out of escapes, an assassin is still able to do 100 to 0 even with Lotus of Escape. But now he spec'd it into something else, and now you're done. Like I said, no escape. You get in a CC, you're done.
And as you mentioned, Ending, the build without the Lotus of Fury is always about that extreme amount of damage you can do when you have the opportunity given to you. But just like that, if your stun is out and you already used your escape and you get an additional stun onto him, there's just no escape to all that damage that he can output in an immediate amount of seconds.
Yeah, so the assassin basically just surprised him with that blue buff skill tree. And, it was lucky on the assassin's part as well, because if the Blade Master was able to land the CC and take out his tab escape and land another one right after, it would have been hard for the assassin as well, but the assassin was able to body swap, take out all of the Blade Master's escape first, which gave him the advantage. Even with the blue buff, it's done. It's a done deal.
And definitely a good effort by Ilhanjang to really put in the first combo of attacks that really got a good amount of damage onto the assassin, but wasn't enough to get him a win this time around. It's going to be game 2 coming your way, and Gyeongbok Min on the Blade Dancer will be up against Wuri Lim on the Force Master for the first time today. So No Name, now they're 1 game behind. This is going to be 1 point crucial that they have to recover back to themselves.
Yeah, and No Name, Wuri Lim, we saw him play last week, and unfortunately for his Force Master, he wasn't able to do anything. He literally wasn't able to do anything, and he just lost that singles match last week. So let's see how much he prepared for today, because we do not want to see the same outcome twice in a row.
And we don't want to bring back bad memories, but it was the total PvE last time around. But he has to change it to a PvP this time around, because No Name really needs a game back to their status, and we're going to see the Superman versus No Name game 2 coming your way. Let's get it on. And here we are for game 2 between Superman and No Name, and we're currently 1 up towards Superman right now. So Gyeongbok Min on the Blade Dancer will be out against Wuri Lim on the Force Master. So Wuri Lim, he has a lot of work cut out for him. He needs a win back to get back to the stage.
Yeah, he definitely has to redeem himself from his performance last week.
Definitely.
So let's see how much he's prepared, and he gets Phantom Grit first
Immediately.
by the Blade Dancer.
And that's going to be the initial attack from Gyeongbok Min. It's going to be putting on the damage. The stun does come up, but he does escape in time.
There we go. There we go. This is his opportunity to do some damage. There we go. The tab escape and the flock of plates are out.
Oh, so Gyeongbok Min, without his escape, he does get him into the air. That's going to be a good amount of damage coming up for him. That's going to be putting him to more consecutive attacks coming his way. Gyeongbok Min, without his escape, is still going aggressive towards this Force Master.
Yeah, Wuri Lim, that was a good call for him to save his tab escape, because the Blade Dancer was definitely sidestepping to avoid that. There we go with the impact
this is a good
and the
chance for
aerial, the double knockup right here. There we go, Inferno! Oh no, not the Inferno.
Oh,
there we go, now the Inferno. Okay,
the
Wuri.
Meteor is actually not going to be good enough damage to knock him off straight away, but good of Wuri Lim to make this happen, because that consecutive damage does put the Gyeongbok Min on the Blade Dancer further behind.
Yeah.
Both of them has escapes back.
Yeah, Wuri Lim is definitely, he's changed, he's practiced.
Yeah.
So there we go, the back escape for the Force Master is out. The Blade Dancer will be getting all of his. There we go, the Glacial Beam lands.
It's going to be good.
The tab escape is
the
out.
tab escape is out for Gyeongbok Min, as you say, and Wuri Lim, this has an extreme amount of advantage that he can do. It's going to be enough damage. This is going to be it. This is going to be enough damage coming from the Force Master, and Wuri Lim changing his PvE status back to PvP. So good of him to get a win for this time around. So right now, very even between Superman and No Name. It's 1-1 currently right now.
Yeah, that was very well played by Wuri Lim. The Blade Dancer could have went for a reflect on that Glacial Beams. If he landed one, maybe he would have, had an advantage. However, it did not play out the way he wanted to. And Wuri Lim, yeah, good for him. He did redeem himself from last week, getting PvE per se.
Sure.
Not able to do anything and just losing for his team, like getting a L for his team. However, this time around, he did tie it up. So it's a good thing.
And a curiosity that I want to ask you, Ending, is that Gyeongbok Min was pretty hesitant on really using his escapes pretty early, I would have to say. He had opportunities to hold it up, but he just basically used the escapes as soon as he had it available. So what do you consider of his choices of using his tab escapes?
Well, to be honest, other than Gyeongbok, Wuri was actually very patient on using his escape, his tab escape. He did use his backstep escape fairly often, but he played mind games with the Blade Dancer.
Yes.
I'm going to use it, so you're going to sidestep, but I'm really not going to use it. So he just makes the Blade Dancer unable to use his skills or do damage and make him use sidesteps and waste time. And Wuri Lim just ends up saving his tab escape, which was a good part on Wuri's mind game.
Yes.
So Gyeongbok, he wants to use it, and he wants to make an opportunity to make Wuri use his tab escape, which put him on the edge a little bit. So maybe that was one of the reasons that he was on tilt, maybe.
That's very true, because as you mentioned, Wuri Lim doing a very good job without mind games, and Gyeongbok Min was pretty much without his escapes for an entire game before he was eventually knocked out. But we are going to move on to the third match, which is going to be the tag match, which is going to be the crucial one. This is going to be the ending match. It's going to close out the series. Whichever team can pick the win out here will be the winner out of the series to face up against Chobo in the next round. But it's going to be the next exciting round to go with.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, this is worth 2 points. So both teams acquired 1 point each. So winning this match, this tag match, will give either team 3 points, which will allow them to go up against Chobo. So this is very important. It's the last game for today, this matchup, so they're going to want to give it up.
And this specific match is posing a lot of questions, because they really didn't perform well on the tag matches, with both teams doing fairly poorly against their opposition last week around. But you have to see which team can really step it up, because these two crucial points are going to be your key to getting to the next round. But we are going to step right on to Game 3 between Superman and No Name, the tag match to decide it all for this series. Let's get it on. As we have already mentioned, it will be the deciding match in this series between Superman and No Name. Then we first see Sunhun Park on the Assassin come out against Yoon Dong-oh, the first timing for him today, coming out on the Destroyer.
Yeah, let's see. The Destroyer and Assassin matchup is definitely not a good matchup. Yeah, but the Destroyer is playing aggressive with the Ember Stomp down. The Assassin, goes away, runs away from his Ember Stomp using his Lotus of Escape.
As you can see, with the disadvantage of Yundong already having to use Force His Escape, but trying to go for an offensive interfere this time around, trying to put some damage, but none gets to him, and he even doesn't even force out an escape. So not the best use of that interfere from the side of No Name.
Well, like the Destroyer did use his Persistence, which is his secondary escape. But, like you said, nothing too much happened. So just taking out his Persistence isn't good enough.
Oh, God. This is the stun coming up. The Bombard is going to be able to negate most of that damage coming up, but let's put that in the landmine.
Woo! All right, that
barely sidesteps
out that Searing Strike almost actually gave the Destroyer a disadvantage right there. But, the backstep allowed him to live.
And if you guys are aware of this matchup, before we can mention this about further, he's get the stun out. We're actually forcing out the tab escape. But going back to the matchup between Assassin and Destroyer, as you said, it's never a good matchup going into this. But actually, a lightning draw coming on from the side of Superman, and that's going to be good enough damage coming onto the Destroyer now. The Destroyer having no hope. This is going to be a good time to tag out because there's going to be a good chance. Actually gets him into the air. There's going to be a good, actually a lot of image bugs that we're having to see.
That actually looked cool. He looked like he was holding a spear.
That was actually the real thing. That would have been an impressive
Look at all the damage he did with that big spear.
The image bug coming to his advantage. They're getting a lot of damage. Actually, he tags out.
Yeah,
he had 2 seconds left on the free tag.
Yeah, that was definitely a good tag out. He didn't want his teammate to get chased, so he tagged out 2 seconds earlier, surprising the opponent, so he wasn't able to get chased. That was
still
good.
Would have to argue that wasn't the most efficient use.
No, that happens a lot. That happens a lot.
Okay.
More often than not. So, we'll let it go. Let's see how Hyunsung Song does.
Okay, but we have to see how that really transpires to the end of the game. But now they escape the Phantom Grip onto the aerial, and the graphic bug is still there, really distracting us from the image. But
don't call it the graphic bug. Call it the spear.
Call it the spear. We're gonna call it the spear. All right. So Hyunsung Song is still on the Destroyer. He's holding strong for now. Gets him onto another aerial. It's going to be a chance for the Blade Master to do some damage onto him now.
Soaring Falcon pulls him in, does tons of damage. The Ember Stomp is down.
The Destroyers on both sides really not finding their game today because it's really tough against the swift mobile classes that they are. So now the Blade Dancer, Gyeongbo main, is now going to be out for Superman. And that's the second tag point already used for Superman, whereas No Name has one more advantage regarding that aspect.
All right, there we go. Aggressive with the Blade Dancer into the aerial. All right, defensive. Oh, what the? The defensive interfere comes in and he gets knocked down right away. So basically a waste.
But it does negate most of the damage that Hyunsung was about to do. The chase, very wonderful chase going into this play, and the interfere immediately coming out from both sides. The lightning draw is going to be almost enough damage. Almost enough damage to knock him out, but that was a good reactionary interfere from both sides coming in. And it's going to be forcing him to use a tag out onto Yundong-oh. It's going to be back out on the Destroyer.
Yeah, that was a close call for Lim, but well played for him to push him back with the impact and tag out.
Another tag. Another attack coming in. Now the Assassin is out, trying to do some work for him. The Assassin has been the advantageous class this time around in this particular series, and landmine coming in, knocking him down.
Okay. The Persistence was used by the Destroyer. Trying to play aggressive, but it's not working out too much for him.
Trying to play that damage while he is spinning around.
Okay. All right, so the Assassin is out of his tab escape. He did not spec it into Lotus of Escape. So if the next CC, there's going to be a defensive interfere.
Yep. And this is going to be good.
Back roll chase. There we go.
It's going to be a good chance for Yundong-oh to put in some damage. This is going to be the interfere coming in, trying to put in some damage, and that's going to be enough damage to knock him off straight away. And now Superman is down one man. This is a very good situation for No Name as Lim comes back out, trying to put a continuous amount of damage. And this is going to be a chance for them to get further. And this is a heal coming in from that Frost Armor.
They're both healing.
Yeah.
They're both healing. There we go. The Destroyer uses. Oh, we got the Destroyer on the Fury build right now.
Oh,
there we go with the ult.
Getting some damage from the Destroyer ult, but Hyunsung Song has to look for more opportunities now. Like you said, with that Fury build, he's going to be looking for that damage opportunity. He doesn't get a chance to before he is tagged out once again. Gyeongbo is out, and Superman has barely any escapes to work with. They have just one tag they have remaining just on Gyeongbo, and this is going to be a chance for No Name to use that advantage, trying to get them further ahead now.
I love that move from that Blade Master, that Dragon Tongue. It looks so nice.
It is, and it does put out a lot of damage, as we know, with the Dragon Tongue. And there's going to be Yundong coming out, putting in some damage from the interfere. Very good offensive interfere from No Name. So No Name pushing their advantage a lot further now with the ultimates available from Yundong and Wuri Lim available now, and also with Ilwanjang as well. So all the players with this ultimates available, there's going to be a chance to connect it. And there's going to be a Blade Master ultimate.
Oh my god!
Blade Master ultimate hitting the almost
How many times are you gonna get hit by that?
That is about the maximum amount of potential you can get from Blade Master ultimate. It's a very good event to knock a second player out. Now Hyunsung Seo is the only one with the Destroyer trying to finish the game, but no can do. With all the interfere coming in, likely going to finish this game anytime soon now.
Yeah, and he is still on the Fury build. He was unable
Blade Master
he was unable to capitalize with the Fury build last time around he was on the field. Let's see what he could do this time around, but it's still a 3v1, and in a minute, if he's able to survive, No Name is gonna get one more interfere point, so it's gonna be harder for him. I mean, so we'll see what he can do.
It's tough to say whether that all this series of advantages that No Name has gained for themselves was due to a little bit of luck maybe, but it's a lot of damage coming in an instant, and that's gonna get Superman extremely behind. The Destroyer likely not going to be able to beat 1v3 against these guys. Even Yundong and Wuri Lim still has their ultimates available. So now they're going to come in. Has to look for the chase now. Gets into the stun. This is a good distance to try to get the stun, but stuns him before he goes out. So that's going to be good enough to finish him off. And that is a statement maker, definitely for No Name, who makes it to the next round.
Wow. I did not expect this. I'm going to be honest. I did not expect this from No Name because it's a fact. Last week, they performed very poorly.
They did.
So, you know, from on paper, from, you know, the previous matchups, I thought, you know, No Name, unless they prepare like every single day until today, and they're not going to make it up, but it seems like they almost basically practiced every single day.
And the finesse of Blade&Soul is that singles and tags are such different dynamics, where singles you can be the best players in the world, but tag you just, if you don't get that team chemistry going, knowing the communication between your teammates with the synergy that has to be there to get the victory. So that really showed us the difference between Superman and No Name this time around, because they only had one chance to prove themselves with this tag match, getting 2 points, which was the crucial win in the end. But good of No Name to really make those advantages count and just push their advantage further and further as the time went on.
Yeah, do you remember what I said before, like in the beginning of the match?
The big picture.
Yeah, the big picture. They started painting right now.
This
is their painting.
It's the modern picture for now, so they have a lot more ways to go. But the 3-stack Blade Master ultimate, hitting just about as much damage as you can with that skill. So very impressive. We haven't seen we haven't seen a Ilwanjang pull off a full stack Blade Master ultimate in a very long time. So a very visually attracting thing for sure.
Yeah, and definitely Wuri Lim stepped up his game like 10 times the fold compared to last week. And, you know, he was the underdog last week, but this time around today, he had some good interference to save his teammates with the freeze. He did win his singles. So, you know, everything. He's doing good.
So I think Wuri Lim would have been the primary target of Superman, considering their matchups. They obviously probably thought Wuri Lim would have been the weaker one to come out in singles, so they probably didn't think seriously of him. And especially in the tags, you know, singles you can be a fluke, you can win again, but I don't think they took him seriously enough in the tags as well. I think that really took to the complacency, really translating into the loss for Superman. So not the best mindset perhaps going into this matchup. So, but in the end, Superman is officially out of this tournament. We're going to be going to the next match coming up after this break.
세계적인 역사 최성준 인사 올리겠습니다. 어떻게 생각할지 이런 식으로 상대방의 머릿속을 들어가서 판을 해버리고 이제 텔레파시랑 보내보겠습니다. 뭐가 필요하십니까? 한 15초는 돌릴 수 있는 딱 서대박달. 어떻습니까? 그게 팀이에요? 그냥.
Welcome back to Blade&Soul Korea Finals. We're done with match 1 and we saw Superman get knocked out by No Name to our surprise. As you say, the big picture is on its way. And we saw that, one thing I want to mention is, starting last week, the match results where they put themselves on the tables. The right teams have always won except one match, quite literally. So, and today's match, No Name was on the right side and they won. So, OGN, where you want to put your favorites, you can put them on the right side. And to another mention is that No Name is going to be on the right side against Chobo this summer. So how that actually matters in the actual match, we have to find out. But how did you think of the first match, though?
Well, the first match, like I mentioned during the match a little bit at the end of the match, No Name definitely practiced. They prepared for this. They did not want to get knocked out this time around. They wanted to at least get a chance to fight for the seed in Worlds. Who knows if they'll be able to make it or not, but, they did go through the first door, beating Superman. They are going up against Chobo now, and they did lose to Chobo last week. So this will, be the chance to redeem themselves.
I would have to agree with the ending. They did improve a ton amount because they were a completely different team from what we've seen them last week. And as you mentioned, they actually went against Chobo in week 1 and the day 1 actually facing off against Chobo, but losing, as you say, 3-1. So now that Chobo has, I'm sure they have practiced their own, but with this No Name being a seemingly different team now, are they going to be able to outdo Chobo in this important match up to the next match?
Yeah, we'll have to see. And now on screen we have Chobo, we have Youngjin Sin, Sangjun Lee, and Jaehoon Lim. We have Jaehoon Lim, the Korean Elvis, or
in real life KFM, yeah.
And we have Youngjin Sin, which his last name is Sin.
Oh, where did Cyburns go?
I know that. I didn't want to mention it.
Oh, my word!
Yeah, he trimmed that. Maybe he heard us, calling him Korean Elvis.
We didn't make fun of him. To be honest, we were just jealous of the fact that you can be an in real life Blade&Soul character. I mean, I would love to be that, but just like my appearances don't allow me to do that. So, Cyber's gone. In real life, KFM gone. Does that mean his skills are gone? We have to see. So, but the important point is Youngjin Shin. That's the superstar that we've really put our focus on as soon as we saw the first sighting of this guy. He's Assassin. That's the only class registered for him, by the way, but that's the only class he needs because he's fabulous on that class, and it's just a wonderful to see him perform so well, but he's going to have to get it done against this improved No Name team. And with Yundong Oh, Wuri Lim, Irwan Jang that you guys just saw in the previous series, you're going to see them again. They're trying to face up against Chobo and get a win this time around.
Yeah, and as we just saw last game, No Name now has warmed up.
Oh, they did?
Yep, today, Chobo is their first game today. So we'll see a little bit warmed up No Name team, plus improved, versus a non-warmed up Chobo that performed very well last week, but not warmed up.
And the player focus for No Name is Wuri Lim, who has been really at the bottom part of the stage last week. But this week, he definitely has stepped it up. Maybe that shock from doing so bad in the previous week made him work just that much harder. But he's not going to be the first one to coming out. It's actually going to be Yundong Oh on the Destroyer, the first one up for No Name against Jaehoon Lim on the KFM, as familiar as he is now. So Jaehoon Lim has been impressive in the last week, so he's going to try to make this continuing and get a first win for Chobo will be a big thing for them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And like we said, Jaehoon Lim's KFM, I love KFMs because I am a KFM player.
Sure.
But his KFM was definitely up to par. He showed us some good interferes and tags last week, so we'll see how well he plays today in the first matchup for singles.
And I think that just going back to your question about whether this prepared No Name will be a different squad against Chobo is the big question here. But we're going to have to get some answers to those questions as we get to the first match. Between No Name and Chobo, we're going to see the first singles who gets the first point for the team. Let's get the game underway. Let's get it on. Here we go for the first match between Chobo and No Name. Then we're actually going to get the first sighting of KFM, your favorite class ever.
Yep, let's go, Jaehoon versus Yundong-oh.
Oh, that is a nice looking axe, by the way. I haven't seen that one in quite some time. Yundong-oh with that black axe is going to be trying to cleave something here. Jalen Lim on the KFM is not going to easily allow that. Actually gets in a lot of damage. Judgment Cleave. We haven't seen a good damage come out of it in a long time, and a good of Yundong-oh to get the damage done. Now Jalen Lim is just punishable. He's out of his escapes.
Oh, the Rising Dragon did not connect there.
Okay.
Right click.
So
There we go,
Lim is going to be
area.
looking for the counterattack here. He is out of his escape, so getting
Side
caught
step. There we
would
go.
be a punishable thing for him, but he's trying to put the punishment back to him with the counterattack, and Jalen Lim does get some good damage out, about as equal of a trade from the previous damage he took.
Yeah, Yundong-oh actually did not have to use any of his escapes yet. And the KFM does get his escape
the stun
back.
coming out of the Judgment Cleave.
Back row.
A few of that hitting the strides, but Jalen Lim does get his escape back, so this is a chance to go a little bit more aggressive. I'm not fearing as much of that stun. The stun is coming out. This is going to be his chance to use his escape. He doesn't use it now. He's going to save it for now, so hopefully that can come back to him with a little more favor when the opportunity does arise for Yundong-oh once again.
Gets in there. The second win is used
actually,
finally by
Yundong-oh.
Yundong-oh. Second win is used by KFM as well.
Finally uses the escape from Jalen
Yeah.
Lim, and now KFM without the escape is going to get him into the aerial, trying to put some damage onto him, but trying to look for something. The stun does come up to Yundong-oh. Now he is stunned without the escape available, and it's going to be going to the aerial, going to put some enough damage onto him, but that's going to be it for now, and Jalen Lim just a little bit ahead now. The escape timer will be both equal for both sides, but this is going to be a chance for very slim margins that both players can really put out in an instant.
Oh, there we go. The drag connects. The back roll chase.
Actually, the stun will
happens, and
be
it's
good
not looking
enough.
good. One second,
but
he
actually
gets
the
it back.
counterattack. The counterattack coming in for Jalen Lim. Use the escape to make that happen now. Yundong-oh seemingly with the advantage now has the escape available, whereas Jalen Lim does not. So this is going to be the chance for Yundong-oh on the Destroyer to make some crucial plays. The stun will make it happen, but before that, Yundong-oh does go up in the air.
The back roll. All right, it seems as if Jalen Lim isn't, too keen on back roll chases right now.
Yeah, so trying to play it safe for now, as we can understand, but just one stun is going to be all it needs. Oh, the drag does happen in the KFM. Does get frozen up. He does get his escape back, and it's going to put him into the aerial, where we can make something of this. We have to see.
Mid-frost to escape from that grab.
This is very
Rising
close.
Dragon pulls him in.
Jalen Lim does get some of his HP back. Now Yundong-oh without his escape. This is going to be the crucial chance, but this damage chart will be a confusing one to
There we go,
calculate.
triple kick! Tremor, this is it for
It's
Yundong-oh!
going to be just enough to decide before the TKO comes up. The calculation could have really gone either way. We had no way with all those heals coming up. We really don't know how to calculate, but good of Chobo to really finish out that first game with a win before it goes to the timer runs out.
Look how serious he looked, but at the end, that triple kick, that stone shield. Oh, that was good. That was good. That was reaction, and Jalen Lim just showed us, if you're gonna show any defensive skills, I'm gonna right-click the triple kick and stun you and finish you off.
Yeah.
Good play on both sides, but a little better on Jalen Lim's side, and he does take the victory, giving his team 1 point.
Definitely even games throughout the match, as we've seen damage trades going pretty equal to both sides most of the time. But it was that crucial seconds near the end when just 2 seconds was all it took to finish off the Destroyer. That didn't lead to the TKO. We still have no idea what it would have been if it had gone to the TKO, whether Yundong-oh would have had the advantage there.
Yeah, it was very close. And at this moment, he did not have any escape, but Jalen Lim gets it back, and he has to use it right away. And here, this is a triple kick that we just saw at the end.
And that triple kick.
The second that he takes out that stone shield, you're not going to get any heals. I'm going to break that with the triple kick, and he finishes him off. Very well played by Jalen Lim.
And a crucial triple kick to end out that match with that stun, giving enough time to finish him off with the damage that with the KFM can put out. Now this is a good 1-0 lead now for Chobo. Anone was trying to look for any kind of advantage they could really look for, but this time around, Chobo will be the one to get the advantage. The second singles will be important, especially for No Name, to get that point right back.
Yeah, and be aware, this is best out of 7 now. So the first team to acquire 6 points or more will make up, we'll take the second seed in the career finals.
And the important thing is that, of course, with 1 point and 1 point mattering a little bit less in the best of 7, of course. But, just that momentum, as we always talk about, is the important thing that you have to carry forward into the eventual tag matches, and also the second round of singles will be coming up.
Yeah,
but second single here, this is going to be really a statement maker for either of these teams to try to put out on their opponents.
Yeah, definitely. And at the bottom of the screen, we see the gibberish code that you guys cannot participate in. I just wanted to mention it
just a reminder.
Because last week we didn't bother to talk about it at all. So, just for you guys that are tuning in now, or maybe trying to put this code in and it says it doesn't work or error comes up. But this is only for the Korean server, unfortunately. I hope you guys get something in during Worlds that you guys can participate in. But let's get ready for the second round. Let's get it on.
So while you guys won't be able to get those fancy gadgets from those secret codes, you are getting fine Blade&Soul action from here in Korea, and we're gonna get with the game 2 between Chobo and No Name. It's gonna be Sang-Jun Lee on the Force Master against Ewon-jang. They're both going off pretty quickly, trying to put an initiate on.
Yeah, the Flock of Blades was used already, the backstep as well for the Force Master. Yep, super aggressive right now. There we go, the Blade Master into the aerial.
Ewon-jang puts off the initiative first, trying to put in that damage with the Blade Master. That's a lot of damage with the Lightning Draw coming in. And Sang-Jun Lee is at an extreme disadvantage early on in the game.
Yeah, I'm surprised that Yongjin Shin didn't come out.
Yeah,
for
figures.
singles. Yeah, maybe they're saving him.
Oh, but this is a good chance for the Force Master to put in a lot of damage now, and that's going to be good enough damage to put that trade right back to even for Sang-Jun Lee on the Force Master.
Keep that distance. Tab escape was used by the Force Master. It's not looking good anymore.
Oh, the Force Master is going to be out, but there's going to be enough damage coming in for the Blade Master. Most likely going to be finishing it, but does escape just in time. And now Sang-Jun Lee has one more hope of escape available, but it looks like going to be, just
that was
escape.
an animation bug for... Yeah, there was a re-knockup, but there was a little bug in the animation.
Oh, but 1 HP is literally what he has available. Sang-Jun Lee somehow has to make this happen. Freezes himself, but gets no HP back, but that's going to be enough work for Ewon-jang to put his name above that score sheet. Now, No Name is even at 1v1, but I like to go back to your point of why they didn't send Yongjin Shin. He obviously would have gotten you that additional point, most likely. A far better chance than the Force Master, obviously.
Yeah, definitely, but like we said, it's best out of 7 first team to 6 points, so they're warming their teammates up. Yongjin Shin, maybe they are saving him for that wild card, that secret card. So we'll have to see who comes up. But now our next match, the third match, will be a tag, and it will be worth 2 points.
Yeah, and despite that win in the game 1, it's completely back to even now at 1v1, and it's the tag match is going to get you that 2 points, which is going to be always crucial heading into the next part of the series. But it was a good effort by Sang-Jun Lee, of course, trying to make that work.
Yeah,
he does put in good damage here, but after that, just the Blade Master from Ewon-jang doing an extreme amount of work, putting that damage when he was needed.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Force Master was unable to take out the Blade Master's tab escape, which would have created an opportunity to do his secondary damage when his Inferno cooled down in like 8 seconds. But unfortunately, he freezes himself in there, and
when the Force Master frees himself up but gets no HP back, that feels bad, man.
Yeah, I know, feels bad.
So,
but it's just the second matchup, so
very true.
We still got a long way to go for this both of these teams.
And as you guys know, the third match will be the tag match, the first of this series coming up for No Name versus Chobo, and this is going to be the important one that they have to really prioritize highly, because getting a win in a tag really shows your statement as to which team is the better team when working, synergizing with your teammates, and that's a big statement to make in this particular series.
Yeah, definitely, and you cannot only win singles to make it up. You definitely have to win at least one tag to make it up to the next round, and that's why tag is so important, because the last 2 tags are worth 5 points total if we do go into set 6 and set 7. So tag is a crucial part in this tournament. So this is the first tag for these two teams up against each other, so we'll have to see.
And definitely some of our viewers may be familiar with the separated format when the singles were separate and the tags were separate, and just doing well in singles got you an award and got you first place in a tournament. But it's definitely not like that anymore, where both things are combined and you have to be good at both things to make it work.
Yeah, definitely. And teamwork is crucial. Just because you are skilled as a single player or solo player doesn't mean your team is going to win. So they have to definitely coordinate their teamwork with tag outs, tag ins, interferes, defensive, offensive as well. So we'll see if No Name has prepared for this time around going up against Chobo.
And definitely No Name, giving credits to them. We always I think we're seeing a little technical difficulty from Young Shin's computer. I think we're going to get that fixed as soon as possible. But going back to No Name's tag match from the previous series, I think they really stepped it up. They really learned to communicate with each other and synergize at the right timing. So they're going to be looking pretty confident going up against Chobo this time around. But Chobo, as we saw from last week, has been splendid from the get-go. So whether these teams are better than each other is going to be decided here from the first tag of the series.
Yeah, and we keep mentioning it's the first tag match for both of them today, and whoever wins this is going to carry on the momentum, because the first tag match won. Getting 2 points with just one match is definitely going to get the team a confidence boost for the upcoming 2 singles and the tag games left over. So, you know, I'm very excited to get into this first tag match up against No Name versus Chobo, but the camera is back on us, which means there is definitely something bigger than a technical difficulty down there.
So we see Young Shin on that booth. He still has his headsets off, so it looks like could be a lengthy pause for a second, but just more momentum building up to this important Game 3, obviously. So that's going to be an important talk. But let's talk about some of the other teams that are left available. You know, we're still in Group A, and Chobo and No Name. No Name actually was a surprise to us as to how far they made it so far. We actually thought that from the viewings of Game 1, from the day 1 actually, coming from our first week of broadcast, we actually saw that No Name was pretty disappointing, to say the least, on how they performed, even in the singles and also in tags as well. But how do you see them right now as they improved?
Well, they definitely improved. It seems like they definitely practiced and prepared for this. They didn't want to get knocked out. And I just want to mention last week, or the first week of this Korea finals, No Name did go up against Chobo in the first week, and they lost 1-4. Yeah, 1-3.
1-3, yes.
Yeah. So they did, obtain 1 point, which means they didn't get swept off.
Sure.
So they do have a chance, and as we mentioned over and over, they did improve. So, when they were unimproved, quote unquote unimproved, they were only able to get 1 point, but now they're improved. So who knows how many points they will acquire.
So how many points that accumulates from that additional amount of practice is going to be the question here, and we're going to get a good answer to that from this Game 3 with the first tag is going to be coming up relatively shortly, I believe, but it's going to be showing the faces here, and this is the guy that we've been talking about this entire introduction of our broadcast was Young Shin on the Assassin. This guy has been a surprise, even with the game that he lost against GFM, I remember, against KFM, Suwon Kim.
Yeah.
That was actually he did lose out, but it wasn't a very convincing loss, I would have to say. He did make some statements before he did die out in the end, but I'm telling you, this guy has a lot of sparks, and he has a lot of spurts that he can really put out to his opponents.
Yeah, and I just want to talk about the last matchup with Iran Jang on the Blade Master.
Yeah.
It was his plays were so aggressive, but he did capitalize on most of his moves. And No Name, I thought they're all evenly matched up in individual skill levels.
Sure.
But watching Iran Jang play on the Blade Master like that just made me rethink, retrace my thoughts, and it's like, oh, did Iran play like this last week?
That's true.
It's because he played so well. Like, I thought I was watching maybe like Wanshik Lee, or maybe not.
That's a huge compliment, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, not as good as Eyebrows or Juno Han.
Yes.
But I miss Juno Han's Blade Master, and I haven't been able to see such a classed Blade Master play ever since Juno Han left his Blade Master to play the Warlock.
Yeah.
But fortunately, we did have Wanshik Lee beat out Jung Oh Yoon a couple times last season.
Sure.
And now we have Iran Jang, out of nowhere, playing the Blade Master amazingly. So I'm very happy to get a new Blade Master in this tournament.
And another topic of discussion that we always have
Yeah.
to talk about is the current meta as to which classes are really the essential meta picks at the moment. A lot of players are saying the Assassin and the Warlock, along with the Blade Dancer, of course. Yes, that's going to be the trio to go with the tag matches. And you know, you always mention that the singles meta and also the tag meta does differ at times. It's not necessarily the best classes to go with in the singles just because they're good in tags. But what do you consider of the Blade Master rising up? Especially, I also want to ask you about the KFM as well.
Well, yeah, like this tournament, there's so many KFMs.
Oh, yeah.
Last year, there was only maybe one, maybe two. And if one team gets knocked out with the KFM, there's like one left, and then they get knocked out, and there's no more KFMs. So, like, I was very disappointed. I was so hyped to see so many KFM this time around because I am a KFM player, as I always constantly mention. And, you know, just watching KFMs just sidestepping, going in like triple aerials, like constant, like, you know, Rising Dragon, Tremor. So, like, it's so, like, hype to see a KFM,
It's
like
true.
so many KFMs. And they're performing well, too.
And that's the big question here, because as to what KFM, as mentioned by the other players, aren't the meta pig as to say, but you know, these KFMs have been performing well, and we have to also mention the Assassins of this tournament, as at least in the challenger stage, have been the one to really win out the games and do well, contribute well in the tag matches as well. So Assassins tier in the current meta is also up for question, but KFM is just one thing that we're going to continue to look out for.
Yeah, and it seems like, you know, the past couple patches that NC has made, they did try to make it, they tried to even it out, especially in the PvP arena with, you know, giving the Destroyer a party buff for some other classes as well.
Yeah.
But now, like, it seems as if the KFM players are trying to make KFM the meta. So, like, you know, if we perform well in this tournament, you know, maybe people will start playing KFM in tags. Maybe it'll become the meta.
We've seen instances of that in the past with Shingan Kim putting on the Soul Fighter into action when it was nobody playing it, and he just suddenly decided to play it, and it was suddenly OP at that point, and people just started commenting so much about it that NCSoft had to nerf it immensely. Now nobody is using it, but it's just, and I'm telling you, that really could happen with the KFM. I would really like to see that because KFM is, I guess you say, is a very exciting class to always watch out for, and they're visually very attracting.
Yeah, I'm glad that you mentioned Shingyun Kim and his Soul Fighter. Every class that Shingyun Kim touches or plays gets nerfed. So in 2015, he won the Worlds with Warlock, and NC decided to nerf it right after.
Yeah.
And then 2016, he won the Worlds with Soul Fighter, and they decided to nerf it, and now it's gone. So, like, in 2015, he won with the Warlock, and then we never saw a Warlock in 2016. And then, out of nowhere, there's a little buff, and in mid to late season, we started to see a little bit of Warlocks, and then, you know, they became the meta, and it continues to become stay the meta, quote-unquote meta, until this year. And, you know, the Warlock got nerfed, and then kind of got buffed. But the Soul Fighter this time around, so since Shingyun Kim won with the Soul Fighter last year, it got nerfed, and the Soul Fighter is just out of the tournament this year.
And
But you know, it might come back next year, maybe. But you know, the point is, every class that Shingyun Kim touches, it's nerfed.
And it does viable still for 2017 because the Warlock is completely staple meta right now. People are talking about how much damage output it can also do, and especially in tag when you use that time distortion to get that escapes all the way back. Just seems so much utility while putting out the damage is so strong for what a Warlock can be. But as you say, Shingan Kim, he touched the Warlock and it just made it strong. So the blessings from the hands of Shingan Kim is what we've always been looking out for. But another point that, since we have a lot of time to talk about things, but the eventual carries, I would have to say, in tag matches just seems to be less prevalent as time goes on with the teams evolving and also the individual players evolving. It just seems like that back in the day when the tag matches, when one player literally carried the game. But we're going to talk about this sooner or later, but because we're going to go on to Game 3. Seems to be prepared now. We're going to go on to Game 3 between No Name and Chobo, the first tag match of the series. Let's get the match underway here. Let's get it on. Thank you guys for waiting with us and being patient with us through that long break, but we are finally here for Game 3 between Chobo and No Name. And Youngjin Shin, the first sighting of this guy was the guy that we've always wanted to see. Is going to be the first one out for Chobo. He puts down the flower down against Yundong-Oh's Destroyer. Yundong-Oh has been pretty impressive on that Destroyer, but we always have to say the Assassin and Destroyer matchup, it's always going to be a disadvantage toward the Destroyer.
Alright, Yundong-Oh is able to take out both of Youngjin Shin's escape right now. The landmine does land.
Poison Breath continuing on with that damage, but as you mentioned, Youngjin Shin and both Yundong-Oh are both out of their escapes, and tab escapes are not available for the next 15 seconds for these guys. And Youngjin Shin, as aggressive as we saw, he's actually very smart in the decisions that he makes. See that this time around the landmine, another one.
There we go, the chase.
The interfere coming in, the offensive one trying to be put out the damage onto Chobo, but
Ooh, good save by Wuri Lim. He definitely stepped up his game. He came in, saved that Destroyer by freezing him, and a double Ice Burst or Frost Burst.
Oh my goodness, but Youngjin Shin continued to put just a continuous amount of random bombard on the floor, but doesn't matter because Irwan Jang is out on the match, and he did use his tag points to get himself in. So Youngjin Shin, along with the Chobo squad, still has all of that tag available. He put the tag down, and we're going to be the interfere coming in from both sides. This is going to be the offensive interfere to good effect, and that's going to be putting a lot of damage onto Irwan Jang.
Yeah, Wuri Lim though saved him once again. 2 tag points, very well used by Wuri Lim. Now he is on field. Let's see how well he will play on when he is out on the field, and he has to rely on his teammates to save him this time around.
And just another stellar performance from Youngjin Shin, doing everything that he needed to do before coming out with a free tag. Whereas he forced No Name to use 2 tag points already just by his presence. So right now, getting a free tag is a good thing for Chobo. It's going to be crucial towards the late game in the end.
Yeah, Wuri Lim was able to take out the KFM's tab escape right when he was force tagged in. However, he did not capitalize on it, and now he's taking the damage.
Going to be the interference coming in. I'm telling you, the Chobo is really making a good use of these offensive interferes, putting it as maximum amount of damage as they could for the crucial CCs and knockups that they can really make out of.
Yep, Frost Burst right there.
Oh, Wuri
Into
Lim.
the aerial, there we go. Wuri Lim doing work.
Always Wuri Lim getting some damage done. Now finally forcing the escape out of Jaewoon Lim, and gonna be now using his first tag points out of Chobo to get the Force Master. Sang Lee is gonna be out on the field now against the Force Master Wuri Lim, so it's gonna be a Force Master and mirror match for now. The interfere coming in from both sides.
Reactionary. Sangjun taking
the Meteor.
Sangjun taking more damage.
The Meteor actually coming in, but freezes himself up to heal some of that HP back to Wuri Lim. Getting the lesser of that trade. Let's get knocked down.
If you notice, Jaewoon Lim, the KFM tagged in. Interfered in, and he took a lot of damage, so it's not looking good for him.
So while the Force Master from Sang Lee had that ice, freezing himself to get the HP back, Jaewoon Lim obviously didn't get the same with the Destroyer. Now putting a lot of damage, and then he's forcing this tag back out to Youngjin Shin. This reliance on this one player is incredible. The landmine didn't connect this time around, but the bombard trying to put some damage onto Irwan Jang. So Irwan Jang, without his escapes available, the bombard is the stun. It's going to be a good chance for him to get something back. The interfere tries to come in to try to defend some of his teammates right there.
There we go. The
interfere. Interfere was good enough that he could negate most of that damage from the Destroyer, but Yundong-Oh is back out onto the field. Now they're getting one less tag points available for No Name now. So regarding those aspects, Chobo is definitely at an advantage now. This is going to be a chance, a good stun from the Assassin. Youngjin Shin is going to be good into the area, put it into the webbing. It's going to make him do some work with that. Youngjin Shin coming in out there for the interfere, coming out the Blade Master ult. He's going to be putting out, but not
stun into the aerial.
It's going to be a good chance for No Name now, puts as much damage to Youngjin Shin as possible.
Alright, he comes in.
So Force Master Sang Lee doing a good job of freezing his teammate to negate many of that damage. Coming up now with the bombard, who's going to be forcing him to tag out onto Wuri Lim. He's going to be coming out and forcing the interfere straight away from the Destroyer. It's going to be knocking him down, Youngjin Shin, but doing almost everything right in this instance.
Oh, that was a good freeze. That ult by Youngjin Shin was wasted.
An instantaneous reaction, but it's going to be another stun coming up to him.
There we go, Force
the Force Master ult doesn't connect this time around. Youngjin Shin gets out of that range, and Wuri Lim, a good effort by them, but like you said, the ultimates are negated from both sides now, so it's going to be a chance for Sang Lee actually does come back out on the Force Master with Irwan Jang on the Blade Master.
Oh no, this is a deja vu from the singles. Iran Jung did beat Sangjun, so we'll have to see if he's able to redeem himself here. But he gets into the aerial.
But a quick escape, but does get up into the aerial, so Sangjun Lee has to look for a chance now to make some redemption, come back to his side. But Irwan Jang, as you saw in the previous singles they had against this matchup, he's doing fairly well against this side. But the interfere coming in from Youngji Shin, a reactionary one from No Name as well, trying to put into the offensive interfere. This time it didn't go towards Chobo's side as much as they needed.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jaehoon Lim is out of interference, but he does get tagged in.
Stunned in, but it goes into the aerial, trying to put in as much damage as he can with the escape that he has
Ooh,
available.
that time escape.
Oh, negates that knockup that would have been eventual coming in from the Kung Fu Master, but the KFM trying to get some work now. He has very little HP to work with.
KFM ult.
Oh, gonna try to get that work, and that's gonna be good enough damage to knock the first man out of No Name. Then KFM on the Jaehoon Lim doing extreme amount of work before he is tagged out. So good appearance from him right now. Coming back to Youngjin Shin now. Oh, putting a lot of damage already.
Wow. All right, now if you see, like, you know, No Name is down a man. However, Chobo is still up. They have 1 tag point, 2 interfere points, and in 40 seconds they'll get another one. Whereas No Name, they're out of all points.
Everything.
So now Wuri Lim is out there alone for the next minute and 30 seconds until that force tag happens.
And he is up against the mighty Youngjin Shin. Now he's going to be trying to do some work on it. Gets meant to be waving onto the bombard. That's going to be good enough damage coming onto him. There's going to be a chance for Youngjin Shin to put in more damage now. Wuri Lim still has the escape available if he chooses to use it. But Youngjin Shin is not going to let this opportunity fly because 1 minute is all he has left to make this opportunity as much damage as possible.
Okay, that's animation.
It might be an animation bug, but it does get hit. The damage still collects onto you, Wuri Lim. So Wuri Lim, 40 seconds more that he has to withstand until he gets a free tag onto you Dong-O now. Oh, Wuri Lim gets one to the stun.
There we go, Jaehoon.
There's a KFM's chance to put in the damage.
Now everybody gets an interfere point back at the 3-minute point.
And they use it right away from both sides. A reactionary one from No Name, obviously, to get as soon as they got the interfere points back, they use it right away. So back out without the interfere points available. So Wuri Lim, another area coming out. But you know, coming in with that interfere, trying to make something happen for this last 10 seconds that Wuri Lim has to stay alive for that free tag coming up relatively soon.
Yep, Frost Burst, that's good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 until that force tag happens. Wuri Lim does not want to let...
This is actually good distance,
okay,
but not
Wuri.
enough time to finish him off though. If he had just about 5 more seconds, maybe he could have finished him off, but unfortunately he had the free tag that he has to be forced out of.
Alright,
so
that
now
destroyer ult was just thrown out there.
Right.
Persistence used right now. Dong-O definitely wants to do some damage. They don't. Even Chobo, they're out of tags.
Yes.
So if they're able to knock them out.
Oh, this is actually a good chance for No Name to make a statement here, but it actually goes up onto the aerial, now forcing the interfere out of Wuri Lim to make something of that force master happen, but it was mostly defensive of the way they use the interfere. Now gets him to knock him again, and this is going to be KFM's chance to put in the damage onto the destroyer. Nothing coming from it yet. Oh, he's trying to go aggressive onto him.
Typhoon.
The 3 seconds is all he has. I think there's going to be a chance for Destroyer to look for the chase. Once it does happen, the distance is moderately small. Nothing happens from it, actually. The Youngjin Shin, as soon as he comes in, puts in the stun, and that's going to be enough damage to finish him. A water play by Youngjin Shin.
Okay, that force tag was obvious, and I don't know why the Destroyer was just chilling there.
A lack of focus might have been the excuse for Yoon Dong-O because he knew that force tag was eventually going to happen. But actually, it was a counter chase if you want to call it that. It was as soon as Youngjin Shin came in, he comes with an immediate stun onto the incredible amount of damage that finishes Yoon Dong-O right off the track.
Oh,
wow.
What a nice finish by Youngjin Shin with the ult.
Youngjin Shin, he hasn't let us down from our expectations towards him. Not yet.
Not yet.
So, this guy, I don't want to give him too much credit, Andy, but you know what I'm saying? 1v3. I would have to say that statement. Every opponent that he's faced from No Name, he literally got advantage over them just enough that his teammates can support him in the way that he can really carry this team. We were talking about carries were being less eventual in Blade&Soul nowadays in this current meta, but Youngjin Shin, he showed the closest thing to a carry that we've seen in a very long time.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll have to agree with you on that. Youngjin Shin's plays were amazing. Same as Jaehoon Lim, the KFM, because the KFM, he was out of tags.
Yes.
He was on such little health, and he was force tagged in at one point. Yes. And he was able to live through that and stay alive till the end.
And it's just basically a highlight montage of an assassin. If you can see from this tag match here, this is what you can expect from Youngjin Shin. He didn't appear himself in the singles. Yeah, this is where you mentioned the tag, the interfere coming in from the KFN doing not too good effect because he takes the full stack of that meteor.
Yeah, but that time around, KFM all landing and just, you know, Jaehoon Lim, I'm not just, you know, focusing on Jaehoon Lim because he's a KFM, but he did land that ult to, you know, knock out one player first. So, yo, they got some sportsmanship, landing their ults, and Youngjin Shin finishing off the match with his ult.
And definitely, you can see Chobo on this on the booth there. They look extremely happy about their situation because, like we said, these 2 points from a tag not only gives you a good advantage towards the actual scoreline, it gives you a lot of mindset advantage as well. It's some psychological things as well. So this is a good advantage now for Chobo as we are expected them to be the favorites to get the #2 seed from Group A. Now they're getting one step closer to do that, but No Name is not going to let them down that much easier. But Wuri Lim, the most improved player over this week, is going to be the one out against the superstar Youngjin Shin. And Youngjin Shin, he's showed us that he has continued to improve, and he's just as good as we expected from week 1.
Yeah, and as we mentioned before, No Name versus Chobo is a redemption match for No Name.
Oh, very
and Wuri Lim versus Youngjin Shin is also a redemption match between the two of them.
Yeah.
Because this is the matchup where Wuri Lim kind of disappointed me personally. Where Youngjin Shin basically PvE'd him.
Yeah, that's a PvE moment.
But this time around, I hope something is different with Wuri Lim because he is definitely playing very good this time around.
But actually, we're going to see whether Wuri Lim can turn that PvE into PvP once again, which is going to be extremely needed for No Name going up against Chobo in this game for the next singles coming up between the two teams. Let's get it on. Just as you mentioned, the last time these two guys met, it was an utter embarrassment for Wuri Lim, really being dominated and just controlled in game as to how this game will fold out. But Youngjin Shin, he's going to be looking to do the same thing once again, but Wuri Lim is not going to let that happen this time around.
Very aggressive out, he doesn't have to get near. All right, the first escape is used by Youngjin Shin.
So obviously Wuri Lim, that meteor effort was a good try nonetheless, but it doesn't connect to the damage output that he wanted. But Youngjin Shin is looking for his opportunities now. He doesn't quite put the initiatives. Yeah, he put it.
Frost
Burst does happen from Wuri Lim. For what effort, I don't know quite the reason for why that happened, but we have to see how that will actually translate on. So Youngjin Shin, he finished him off, Wuri Lim, in the last week's matches, and he's going to try to look at it again. So
look at that mobility with the Shadow Slash connecting.
Oh, the body swap.
Yeah, he's not using his second wind.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, Youngjin Shin was waiting for him to use the second wind, but it's not using it.
So Wuri Lim keeping calm through this matchup. He gets down another with the landmine. I have to credit Youngjin Shin's use of the landmines, which is probably one of the better ones we've seen from any other assassin.
Cord pulls him into the aerial.
Pulls him in with the aerial onto the webbing.
Finally, the tab escape is used.
Yes, so Wuri Lim finally out of his body swap happening again. Just being puppeted by Youngjin Shin's efforts. Now the landmine won't connect because he is frozen up. So Wuri Lim using the best efforts to what he has available, but without that escape, he's gonna have to feel extremely nervous about his situation.
Oh gosh. All right, this time around, Wuri Lim is doing
the Phantom Grip
damage.
Phantom Grip continue on with that damage, but the stun doesn't land anything for him. The landmine, doesn't pop it yet. So Youngjin Shin, we always compliment his use of landmines, knocking him down in crucial situations. But Youngjin Shin currently out of his escape, whereas Wuri Lim has his available. It's actually going to be.
Oh no, it's over.
This is actually going to be it. Wuri Lim gets his redemption match now and actually gets a win over Youngjin Shin.
Wow. You know, I'm gonna have to mention at the end when Wuri Lim back rolled, he looks surprised.
He looks confused.
But anyways, as I was saying, when Wuri Lim back rolled, Youngjin Shin didn't really try to chase him. I don't know why that happened. I hope they show that in the replay.
Yeah.
At the end, there was that one moment where if Youngjin Shin was able to chase Wuri Lim's back roll, it wouldn't have ended this way.
Sure. And just like that, one lack of escape is important for both of these classes with the Force Masters and the Assassin, because they really just need that tab escape gone from the opposition, and you can go for another stun. And that damage output potential from both of these classes are very huge. So that's what both of these players were going for. And like, as you mentioned during the game, Uri Lim was very patient and working against the mind games of Youngjin Shin and not using that type of escape. That would have been a freebie towards Youngjin Shin, but this is a chance that he took and he was patient about it and finally gets the win in the end.
Yeah, and if you just, they didn't show it in the replay. Right at the end, the last segment of the replay, right before that happened, that's when Uri Lim just back rolled out for free.
Yeah.
And, you know, in this pro scene, when you go up to the Champions League, that's not going to happen. They don't allow a free back roll.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to do something. They're going to capitalize on that back roll because it's such an easy chase for these pros, for these players that are playing in this tournament. And I was surprised when Youngjin Shin didn't decide to tech chase that.
And that's really the crucial mistake that Youngjin Shin could have made it different and maybe would have made a difference on the output of the actual results. But Youngjin Shin is going to look for a redemption, a personal redemption at that. He's going to be facing off Irwanjang this time around. So the Assassin Blade Master matchup. How do you see this happening?
Well, like, I'm going to be honest. Irwanjang, I didn't notice him until today. Like last week, I didn't, you know, like Team No Name was just like, all right, they're a team, they're okay.
Sure.
But today, I saw Irwanjang. I think I like Irwanjang the most from Team No Name because his Blade Master plays are amazing. He plays it like an assassin kind of, or maybe even a Blade Dancer. He sticks to his opponent. He makes opportunities. He doesn't try to counter it. He actually goes in for that, you know, that treat. Creates that.
And those are the characteristics that makes a successful Blade&Soul player, but whether Irwanjang can get it done against Youngjin Shin, this is going to be a crucial one for No Name as they go up against Choba in this next match coming up. Let's get it on. The next singles between Choba and No Name does get underway. This will be the last singles before we head on to this series of tags if we are necessary. But Youngjin Shin, seemingly, very understandably, he does come out for his second singles in a row, trying to get the redemption for himself because he wasn't very happy with the way he played out that previous single against the Force Master. But he's up against Irwanjang now, who has been playing very well.
Yeah, pops that landmine before. I don't know, it seems as if Youngjin Shin might be a little on tilt. We'll have to see on this round to see how well he will play. He does land that CC with the body swap!
The body swap onto the stun. That's going to be good enough for him to get that damage onto him. Irwanjang is going to be onto trouble now. The landmine does put him on the edge and putting him into another stun. This is going to be actually very good. Irwanjang still saves his time escape. He now uses it now. But the landmine does connect and land to the stun. And that's going to be an instant 100-0 finish, most likely, but doesn't happen just in time. Irwanjang gets away. And
notice he did have that flock of blades, so the knockback did happen.
Oh, this is a chance for actually Irwanjang to put in the counterattack. Might be enough damage to finish him off, but Youngjin Shin does get himself out with the tab escape. So both of them out with the tab escape, so this is going to be a chance for both sides to make that crucial stun. This is going to be it.
If Youngjin Shin was able to calculate it, he's still out of tab escapes. There we go, the back row chase.
What that is going to happen again to the aerial, to the landmine, onto the webbing. It's going to pop that as soon as he lands on the ground, most likely. Actually, doesn't find a good timing to do that.
No, it's not looking good!
The lightning draw almost finishing off from the Youngjin Shin. Youngjin Shin, I don't know if he made a mistake within that aerial mistake, but this is his chance now. Now using the flower to get.
Oh! Irwanjang, definitely well played. And Youngjin Shin, I think there was this moment where Irwanjang was out of all of his escape for 10 seconds.
I think he realized
Youngjin Shin maybe calculated it. Like, he estimated it too big, and he thought Irwanjang might have gotten his tab escape back.
Yeah.
So he was playing it passively, but he could have just gone aggressive.
Literally.
And he could have finished him off, but he backed away, and I think that was the point where Irwanjang was like, okay, yes, thank you for backing away, giving me time to get my escape back.
And of course, from our observers' view that we get on our screens, we already know that what Youngjin Shin did was inevitably a mistake, but it's just that one crucial mistake that he made in this match and also in the previous singles is what got him this loss. But now,
right now it was very good. a double knockdown. So there's another knockdown,
Very
and
good.
after the tab escape, the mine blows up.
Yeah.
So up to here, it
That
was
was
very good, but the Flocka Blade was well used by Iranjang as well,
Yeah.
knocking him back. So now that time around, Iranjang is doing the damage that he should be doing. And please. So right now, Iranjang is out of his tab escape, and he should have known. Oh, okay, so they just skipped it. They skipped the part where Yongjin Sin backs away.
But the important part is it's so unfortunate to see Yongjin Shin get that close to win, but lose out 2 straight in a row. Now, No Name and Chobo, they're both completely even at 3v3. So with the scorelines being even now, we're gonna go on to the game 6 and also the game. Oh, actually, since the new rule that we've adjusted to Blade&Soul Korea Finals, which was different from the previous season, was that if it does, it'll end up at 3v3, 3 versus 3. Yeah, 3 to 3. And by the end of game 5, we're gonna go skip around game 6 and go straight to game 7. This will be the clincher as to who gets the win. So this will be the last tag match, as you can see on the screen. It says set 6, but it will be the last match, and this will be the decider for who gets the win in the series and make it to the next round.
Ooh, that was very unfortunate for Yongjin Sin. I hope he gathers his mentality. He calms himself down. You know, for this next tag match, I don't want. Well, it's not like I don't want No Name to make it up, but I just want to see Chobo perform better, because we've seen them perform better. So I'm just waiting for them to just come back, rise up.
And as you can see on the screen, Yongjin Shin, he's really trying to gain his focus right back, because he's going to need as much of that as possible to really put out his performance that we know and expect from him in this last tag. And this is going to be the decider. No matter how far ahead Chobo was by the end of game 3, they're completely uneven. And so all the marbles are on the table for both of these teams, and either of these teams can make it to the championship round.
Oh yeah, definitely, Ed. I'm just waiting for the match to start. Like, there's no more to talk about. No Name has improved so much. Chobo's Yongjin Sin it just seems as if he's a little bit on tilt. But we know Chobo could definitely perform better, all 3 of them with their teamwork. But No Name's Iranjang and Uri Lim improving so much. And it's just amazing.
They have been really the center of key points when talking about, who has made the most improvements over this last week. And No Name were by far one of the most disappointing teams of the previous week, but now they're continuing to impress us in many ways, especially from these individual players. But we're gonna see how this actually folds out, because it's gonna be the last match of this series between No Name and Chobo, and this is gonna be the decider as to who's gonna make it up to the championship round. Everything's up for the marbles now. Let's get it on and let's get to the match. You know, Annie, I just remember that you mentioned about a big picture that No Name is painting, and
good.
They're very close to
They're
it.
painting it right now.
They are, because just getting to this championship round would be an incredible amount of accomplishment for these guys, because they were not the team expected to go as the #2 seed. But now Chobo is just one step away from really losing it all after having so much advantage towards their sides.
Knocked down. Dong-Yoon is actually out of persistence already. Nice dodge. All right, Yongjin Sin, he wants to redeem himself right now, so he is out on the field again first.
Landmine doesn't connect this time around. He's trying to get the poison breath to put in some damage, but not much. It's taken towards the destroyer now. Yongjin Shin, he has to go aggressive, as it is his playstyle that he always goes with, but whether it turns out to good effect is what we have to find out eventually. But he's been standing still, blocks all these attacks. The interference coming in from both sides. The damage coming from the bombard, and also the freezing up should make that defensive effort from No Name. But takes a lot of damage along with Yongjin Shin taking a lot of damage. Actually,
tag out, please.
So this is his chance.
He's just forcing his teammates to waste interfere points now.
Oh, he's still going in though. Does he not realize his health bar that he has available? The landmine, one more knockdown might be crucial enough to knock him down, but obviously feels confident enough that he's going to go on with this. The offensive interference coming in, trying to put in some damage on the Yongjin Shin. But they're coming in. They're just in time, so making the most out of his time that he had available. So good effort by him in the end. The bombard actually coming into Iranjang. Straight away, another bombard coming in for the straightaway attack, and it's going to be good enough to almost finish him out. Iranjang, can he escape just in time? He's gonna put in the interfere from his teammates, trying to put in the defensive effort. Yongjin Shin is gonna be out. No change happening from this for now, but Wuri Lim does come back onto the field. So all these inches that No Name is really playing with their attack points. So good of them in the end, result-oriented wise speaking, they're gonna be able to have all 3 mana still available.
Yeah, but not really. No Name is playing with fire right now. Look at their health bar. Interferes in. If they take some damage, they might be knocked out with the interfere. So they have to be careful. There we go. See,
that's gonna be good enough to finish him off the interfere. So this is what you're talking about. This is what you're talking about, ending, because when you're at the slimmest of health, when you do tag out, you're gonna have to use the interfere eventually. And when both players that are available for the interfere are so low on health, the instant damage can knock you out straight away, and that's the punishment that No Name is facing right now. Actually, Yongjin Shin is actually knocked out from the meteor.
Same thing happened with
Wuri Lim putting in the damage onto both players, gonna knock Yongjin Shin out. Maybe not the
best.
best.
Happening?
Maybe not the best interfere used out of Chobo on that occasion, but Wuri Lim, he's gonna have to be the hyper carry for this No Name squad now. Actually knocks him out. So Wuri Lim single-handedly knocks off 2 players by himself. So has to install some time now, because he needs time for Wuri Lim to get back onto the stage and hopefully get a 3rd kill for No Name. But this is suddenly an incredible amount of advantage to No Name.
Wow. I did not expect this to happen when Chobo did get the advantage first. Yongjin Shin interferes in and dies, and that evens it up. But if you notice, No Name, 2 of the players were basically like 5% of health, and look what it's come to now.
But the biggest problem here is that Sangjin Lee has been the weakest performing player from Chobo, and he's the last man standing for this team. But he's gonna have to be the miracle maker happening to knock off these 2 players from No Name. But how likely is that gonna happen? We not really expecting many things, because that Wuri Lim has been really stepping up, putting into the Phantom Grip now, trying to make something happen from this.
Yeah, Wuri Lim definitely did something. He changed something.
Something happened to this guy.
Sangjun is trying to work. Wuri Lim's not even using his escape right now. He's just taking some damage.
He's taking the damage. He's trying to play with
go.
fire once again.
Can't escape. Oh no, he's done.
Oh, so Sangjun Lee is out of his escape, so one more stun will likely do it. The meteor coming in just enough. Wuri Lim triple kills the entire side. A hat trick for Wuri Lim definitely as well.
Big picture is happening.
It's happening.
It's happening right now.
And so we can confirm the ending life hasn't been paid by No Name to make that comment. It's actually happening. And to our surprise, Chobo is out of the tournament.
Holy. I'm speechless right now. Like, I'm just looking at their faces, and I feel what they feel.
We're trying to track back moments as to exactly what had happened and what had accumulated to this current moment that we are sitting down right now. But Chobo, as we go back to the beginning of the broadcast, before this game actually happened, Chobo were almost expected to go to the World Champions because of their skill cap level that they have shown in week 1. And they've shown a good glimpse of that in the first few matches, especially up to game 3. But after losing out 3 straight matches in this series from game 4 and game 5, all the way up to the last tag match, which you see now, we're just really speechless of what this situation really is bringing to us.
Yeah, let's look at the replay. So right now, like, Chobo is just PvEing them right now. Iran Jang on such low health, Dongho Yoon such low health. So we have 2 players, and yeah, we do get Iran Jang knocked out during the interfere. That probably will come out right now. Yeah, so here we go. Iran Jang is knocked out. Ooh. So up to now, like, Chobo is like, all right, we basically have this in the bag almost. And you look at that
meteor.
Yongjin Shin comes out, he just interferes in and just takes all the damage from that meteor and just gets knocked out.
What is this guy, Wuri Lim? He just came suddenly out of nowhere.
I'm telling you, last week when he got PvE'd by Yongjin Shin and did nothing and just literally just died, not pressing any keys, that was him starting to prepare for this big picture today. He was mixing up his pain.
I really want to believe you on that comment, but it's just so ridiculous as to how this current situation
Who won
is
today?
right now. No name beat Chobo, and Chobo is out of Blade&Soul Korea Finals.
Yep, that is what happened. That is fact. It's on paper. It's recorded.
Now
and Wuri Lim got triple kill.
We have to recollect ourselves right now of this, just everything that is happening to us right now. But unfortunately, as to say, one of the favorites of this tournament from the challenger scene, at least, Yongjin Shin always looking distraught as exactly. But we're gonna actually have to announce that Chobo is out of this tournament. We're going to come to a short break, and we're going to be back with the same action going with Group B coming right your way. So stay tuned.
세계적인 역사 최성균 인사 올리겠습니다. 어떻게 생각할지 이런 식으로 상대방의 머릿속을 들어가서 판을 내버리고 제가 텔레파시랑 보내보겠습니다. 뭐가 필요하십니까? 한 15초는 돌릴 수 있는데 딱 상대방 다 어떻습니까? 그게 팀이에요? 그냥
Welcome back, everyone, to Blade&Soul Korea Finals. We are just done with Group A's action. We are up to Group B now, but if you guys missed the last time that these Group A had just been finished, the number 2 has been decided as to be no-named over Chobo, and that was quite of a surprise, more than we expected. But Group B coming your way, but how do you see this next series coming up?
Well, I don't want to talk about Group B right now.
You want to talk about Group A?
I want to talk about the big picture.
It's a good topic.
The big picture has been painted by No Named. Them making it up to go up against Chobo. Yeah, people might have thought, maybe they got a little lucky.
Yeah.
But them beating Chobo in the best of
goodness.
7, now it's a fact. It's on paper. They beat them. They made it up. Now let's talk about Group B.
The prophetic ending is what you guys are seeing here. So, we're moving on to Group B now. We're going to have that same action with the loser. The 2 teams from the losers from last week will be fighting against each other to see who can make it up and go up against Full Swing to decide the number 2 seed for Group B. But here's one of the teams, Triple J, with Jaejun Lee and Juhan Lee and Haegang Jung.
Yep, they all have J's in their name. Maybe that's why they're Triple J. But this team you'll be able to see soon. They only have 1 class registered per person. Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
We have Juan Lee on the Assassin, Jaejun Lee on the Blade Master, and Haegang Jung on the Force Master. So they basically only registered these classes. So even if they want to switch in mid-game, mid-tournament, they can't.
They're not allowed to.
They're not allowed to. So if they're considering of changing classes, they have to register it ahead of time. But seeing them, they only have 1 class each. I hope, let's hope that they're super good at least these characters.
I mean, if you're the opposition of Triple J and you're trying to prepare for them right before the week, it's relatively easy to do that because you know exactly what they're going to pull out once the match they do arrive. And here's the other team on the other side. It's, the experienced team only that's remaining in Group B. It's going to be Jae-Yu Kim and Suwon Lee, Sang-Hoon Lee on the roster. And this is going to be the team that has the seemingly experienced the rosters on the team. They're going to be the one to push that advantage, hopefully to get the next round coming.
Yeah, and see, here we go. We have Jae-Yu Kim on the Warlock, only Warlock register, same as Suwon Lee, only the Destroyer, whereas Sang-Hoon Lee has a couple more classes registered. However, for those viewers that might be confused with Suwon Lee and Suwon Kim, Suwon Kim is the KFM, the super good quote-unquote KFM that's on GFAM, who's already made it up to the 1st seed, so they won't be playing today. Suwon Lee is a Destroyer, so he is not the KFM player, for those of you who might have been confused. And right now, for our first match, we have Triple J versus Oh Man. And that prediction.
And the experience does go a long way. A lot of people here on the audience are more familiar with obviously, because they have seen them in previous seasons, whereas Triple J is a complete new signing for everyone here in the squad. They only saw them for the first time last week, which they didn't impress to as well. A bit, impressing and not impressing in the first week seems to be just out of the matter anymore, because the No Names was probably the least impressive team from week 1, but they're back into the champion stage, being the number 2 seed from Group A. So we have what to expect from Triple J anymore. They might be the most disappointing team from last week, but it just might be really up to surprises once again. But set 1 is going to be Juhan Lee on the Assassin, the only registered class for this guy, and Sang-Hoon Lee also on the Assassin, and it's going to be coming up for the first singles in this best of 4.
Yeah, and like you just mentioned, No Name making it up all the way and beating Chobo, and not many people expected that. Same goes for me. And now with this matchup, Triple J and and even with Full Swing, I'm not even gonna bother to make any predictions because anything could go on. Anything could happen.
Hey, but you're the prophet ending now. That's what I'm gonna call you now, because all these predictions that you've been making were very extraordinary, to say the least. But we're going to see an extraordinary performance between the 2 teams, with Triple J going up against in this first singles of the series. Let's get to the match. Let's get it on. first match between Triple J and Oh Yeah will be an assassin mirror match with Juhan Lee on his only registered assassin versus Sangwon Lee. It's an assassin from a collection of 4 classes, so landmine trying to be connected onto both sides. Coming over this, the stun does come up, forcing out the escape from Juhan Lee.
Yeah,
so
Sangwon Lee is definitely putting work on, getting work done.
Another one.
There we go, body shot with the
almost the stun coming up. That would have been
go,
a lot of
go.
damage. Just gonna be the aerial trying to put
It
in
is basically over.
And then
It's over.
webbing, and it's gonna get to another stun. There you go, and another poison breath, and that's gonna be enough damage to finish him off. I think you get one more stun. There he goes, and that's the 100-0 typical of an assassin when you get that stun without the escape available.
Yeah. So Sangwon Lee basically definitely saw Juhan Lee use both his escapes and even the back roll.
Even the
So
back
he's like,
roll, yes.
now you're done. Now you're done. I have both escapes. I'm gonna play super aggressive. Even if you do land 2 CCs, I have 2 escapes. So Sangwon Lee just went super crazy aggressive, and he was able to do 100-0. And you know, when that happens with Assassin Mirror match, it's like I called it like super early because I saw all the escapes out. It's an obvious, you know, it's an obvious game over.
Yeah.
So.
But the only way to avoid a KO in that instance is literally you have to sidestep every single stun and effort of the assassin. But
No. The only way to live through this is if the attacking side, Sangwon Lee, made a mistake. Like if he fat-fingered like a skill rather than a CC, then maybe Juhan Lee would have had a chance. But you know,
in the end, we're trying to say it's very unlikely that actually could happen. So a very eventual 100-0 KO coming from Sangwon Lee's assassin onto Juhan Lee's assassin. So the only registered class for Juhan Lee does get knocked out from this exact same class, which was a choice of a collection from Sangwon Lee. So Sangwon Lee happy about his assassin for now. So game 1 does go towards the OES side. So they are 1 up currently. We're gonna get to the second singles, and it's gonna be the next point. Needed to be accumulated by both teams for different reasons.
Yep, and Oh Yeah takes the first point, the first match, or the first set actually. And now for the second set, we have Haegang Jung on the Force Master and Jae-Yu Kim on the Warlock. Finally, we get to see a Warlock today. It's the first time seeing a Warlock today. And we've actually seen a lot of Force Masters as well as KFM. So, you know, Force Masters, let's get some new Jung Ho-yoon / Jae-Sung Lee's out here. Come on.
And definitely Blade&Soul Korea is really redefining what the current meta should be looking like with all these players coming up with these unconventional picks with regarding to classes, but they're really doing work. We saw the KFM in multiple occasions doing work on the opponents, even if it was a meta pick to go up against. But it's just all of these things that are really taking into consideration as to what the current meta really is. But they're just, all these players are trying to show that glimpse of it one by one.
Yeah, and now just for a reminder, this match is the best of 4, the first to 3 points, and the music has changed, and it seems like we are ready to go into set 2. Let's get it on.
Just as you mentioned, Ending, this is the first sighting of Warlock from Jae-Yu Kim, and just this entire day 3 has been absent of Warlocks lately, but we're gonna look for the eventual burst damage that we see in the first sighting of Familiar as well.
Yep, there we go. Nothing too much. The body swap has happened with the Warlock first.
There gets into the chains onto the air, so Haegang Jung does take much damage off of that,
He actually did damage to himself. Look, Jae-Yu Kim took damage.
So Jae-Yu Kim gets
Tether Blade.
Tether Blade does work out and gets into the damage, and it's trying to use a Familiar to put out that damage as well. So Haegang Jung gets him into the air. So trying to get something working from that, but Haegang Jung not much opportunistic so far. Sanctum does come up.
Right, they're both out of their secondary escapes. They both do have their TAD escapes.
And Haegang Jung has to be looking for this opportunity to get some damage back, but that's actually Jae-Yu Kim putting the amount of damage from the Warlock.
And that's has been used! He can't use his tab escape!
The tab escape now, eventual, the Familiar does come back out, but this is looking very bad for Haegang Jung, who has nothing to do. And Time Distortion does get him the escape back. So Jae-Yu Kim is going to be looking to use all that cooldown, now reset it. He can put all that damage, trying to put it in a decisive moment to knock out Haegang Jung in the end.
The Warlock is trying to finish him off. There we go, the Tether Blade. The backstep escape is used because of the Tether Blade, and he's taking so much damage.
This might be
Oh,
it
the
for
back
Haegan
throw!
Jung. The Familiar is going to try to attack
Okay.
it, but 10 seconds is what Haegan Jung has to stall out because he does get his tap escape right back. But just everything aside, the health difference tells us the story of these two sides where Haegan Jung has
Tether
to
Blade.
make some kind of a miracle to
Okay.
make this happen.
It's kind of over. Tether Blade landed. The
Yep.
second wave was used by the Force Master.
Let's get gone.
Okay, he runs into Frost Burst. Okay,
Just stall in
some
time.
Yeah.
Just stall in time is what the best effort that Haegan Jung can put out, but for the Familiar is still out. A lot of cooldown
wall
still
bang.
left. So a lot of duration still left for the Jae Kim. So it doesn't get hit
No.
by the meteor. The Warlock puts in the finishing touch.
Yeah.
That's going to be the end of game 2, going towards the Warlock.
Yeah, Jae Kim actually like during in the mid game, he did the Tether Blade into the leech, so he was unable to not him. Haegang Jung was unable to tab escape out even though he had it because of the leech. So he took so much damage then, and that is when the game turned over towards Jae Kim's side,
Yeah.
the Warlock. And from then on, it was kind of like a comfortable ride for Jae Kim.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
And the first 2 games really not a showing of Triple J trying to make a difference from their first week's performance, because the first week's performance seems to be a deja vu for these guys as week 2 does come up, and day 3 it's not much of an impressive showing from Triple J so far, at least from the first 2 games. But we know this is the best of 4, and every point really does count. And already losing 2 points already is going to be crucial for these. They have to win the tag match coming up.
Yeah, they do not want on paper 0-4. They don't want to be swept off the tournament. They want to win at least one set. They want to, not even just one set. They want to try to come back and make a story for the viewers and for us as well. So we'll see if Triple J has prepared more towards the tag team rather than the singles.
And putting our focus back to Oh Yeah as well, they faced up against G Touring last week around, and they didn't do as well as obviously an experienced team would do, but it was definitely against another experienced team and a very formidable one as well. So G Touring having knocked off Oh Yeah in a formidable fashion, but Oh Yeah is trying to make their statement as the experienced team to go up against Triple J and say, we are the better team this time around, and they're just really making good statements up to the first 2 games so far.
Yeah, that is very true. Oh Yeah, last week they lost to G Touring. They did get swept 0-4. But, they're not G Touring, Triple J. They're not G Touring yet. They have to beat Triple J to go up against Full Swing to take over that seed to go to the next round into the champion stage.
And as you say that, we will be beginning game 3, the tag match, to decide whether Oh Yeah can get a clean sweep of 4-0, whether Triple J can get their last hope of breath alive with the 2 points they're going to get back to even. But this is going to be an important one for Triple J because even if they do lose out in this best of 4, they don't want to go out in a 0-4 swing.
Oh yeah, definitely not. And let's just say Triple J does win and they make it up, like they win the tag and they win the singles. They already played Full Swing last week and they lost to them 1-3.
Sure.
So they might want to get their redemption match as well. So they're gonna try hard.
Well, you don't get an opportunity to do that once you're out of this best of 4 already. So they're going to have to do all they can. Triple J has to somehow pull out the exertion of energy to get them back into the game, because this game 3 could potentially be the last game of the series between Triple J and Oh Yeah. Let's get the tag match underway. Let's get it on. And here we are for what potentially could be the last match between these two sides, with Triple J and Oh Yeah putting in the last exertion of efforts from both sides.
We have Juan Lee on the assassin out first. Let's see what he can do against Juan Lee, the destroyer.
So it's the first time showing against the Assassin versus the Destroyer. Like we always mentioned, the Assassin always has the edge. Whether they can actually translate into an advantage for this tag match will be an important thing to watch out for.
Alright, escape trades happened just now. The Leaf was used and the tab escape for the Destroyer was used as well.
But the Assassin does have his tab escape still available, so that's one advantage going towards the Assassin side. Puts the landmine, doesn't connect this time around, but the Destroyer still waiting around, trying to get that advantage towards his side. But Poison Breath coming in, putting his minor amount of damage onto the Destroyer, but tries to heal him up.
There we go. throws himself in the stones.
So 5 seconds all he has left where Suhan Lee can get his tab escape back. This is a chance to go in. Might be a chance. The landmine doesn't connect once again, and Juan Lee has to look something more significant to get his team ahead, because 2 points is what they're exactly gonna need to get this series back to even. Body swap happens.
Body swap. Yep, there we go. But you know, the Destroyer has all of his escapes. His teammates also have, both teams have all their points left. So they're playing it very safe right now.
So the first landmine finally landing with the bombardment, the stun. That's going to be the first good effort by Juan Lee getting in the escape out of Suan Lee. So it's going to be the Destroyer with the disadvantage coming up for the next 20 seconds. But Juan Lee, 13 seconds for both timers now, actually going to be forced to use the tag out onto the Warlock. It's going to be forced out. So tag points already used for on the side of Oh Yeah.
Yeah, the Destroyer actually, right before he tagged out, he did land that Stone Shield stun against the Assassin, making him use a leaf. And he does tag out, but it was a forced tag, it was a free tag, so the tag point was not used on Triple J's side.
Definitely an advantage already over to Triple J with that free tag point available over Oh Yeah. So, so Jae Kim has to make something happen. Finally summons out the Familiar, trying to make that happen. But with the Warlock putting in the damage that he showed in Game 2, where he can put out the damage and make this work, I was going to have to look at the same thing, because Haegang Jump right now, the Force Master does have his escape still on cooldown now. The Warlock is going to be putting under the damage.
Defensive interfere comes in, reactionary 2v2, nothing too much happens. The Force Master does take a little bit more damage, but you know, it's not a big deal right now. The reactionary interferes were pretty good on both sides. And
both sides are going to have their tab escape available now as we speak, but with the Sanctum put out from the Warlock, it's going to be trying to do the same thing with that, but the Destroyer coming in from that interfere, trying to make something happen, but freezes himself up, taking that damage from the interfere, so waste of interfere essentially from Oh Yeah.
That Warlock skill just now used too early, but you know, he still does get into the chains.
Yeah. Not much damage coming from it though, because Haegang
the Phantom Grip throw
now, so that's actually a lot of damage instantly coming onto Jae Kim onto the Warlock. So now going to be forced to tag out immediately onto Suwon Lee now, back out onto KFM. Sangwon Lee, my bad, is going to be coming out for Oh Yeah onto the KFM.
Yeah, Sangwon Lee was actually on the Assassin before in the singles, but now he's on the KFM during the tag, and he's taking some damage. He is forced to use his tab escape, and a defensive interfere comes in.
A lot of resources having to be used by the side of Oh Yeah, so Jaejin Lee on the Blade Master is going to be feeling very good about his situation. This is a very good chance to use that next 20 seconds of the cooldown that's still on the tab escape. The time distortion does happen to give that escape right back to him, so even Sangwon Lee has to make something of this, because he does have the time distortion, getting him the advantage slightly back to him, but Jaejin Lee doing a good job from that Blade Master, trying to work on the KFM. Nothing coming from both sides yet.
Oh, the Tremor misses too. Ooh, the Blade Master is doing work, and he just puts him down.
Yeah. What? But nothing happens to the stun. The stun does come out.
Dragon Tongue!
The Dragon Tongue does come in for an immediate amount of damage, but doesn't.
Ooh, the ult!
The second stack, the third stack does happen, and that's going to be a good damage from the Blade Master. To be fair, it's going to be using good enough to put out Jae Kim back out on the tag once again. So 3 tag points already being used by Oh Yeah, whereas Triple J has only used 1. So a resource towards the late game is always what we mentioned, but that's going to be a lot of damage once again coming onto the Warlock. So as soon as he comes in, he has to tag out. So now he's completely out of the tag points.
Wow.
Stun.
All right, Triple J's resource management is super good
The Warlock
right now.
ultimate actually getting a good damage onto the Jaejin Lee before he's tagged out onto Haegang Jung on the Force Master, which is coming out now.
Yeah, and he comes out, uses his SS secondary escape right after, because he was tagged into the Destroyer's ult.
Yeah. And Haegang Jung is going to be looking for this opportunity that Jae Kim, knowing that he doesn't have his tag points available, as Sangwon Lee, Suwon Lee on the Destroyer is going to be the one to make a statement for his team. The Oya is completely behind in many aspects of the department right now. So Triple J trying to push that advantage forward and get this win on the tag match, which will be crucial for these guys.
Nice use of Typhoon. There we go. Nothing too much right now. Triple J is very comfortable resource-wise. They can tag out anytime they want. They can interfere, offensive and defensive. Whereas, Oh Yeah, they are looking not too good with their resources.
The Meteor does happen. It's going to be putting some down in damage, but actually because him in the aerial, Haegang Jung does go up into the air, but not taking much damage from it. Suwon Lee on the Destroyer is going to be looking to do some work. He does force out the escape from Haegang Jung. Force Master is out for his escape for the next 30 seconds.
Right, there we go. The offensive interfere. The Phantom Grip, actually, they wanted to capitalize with that Phantom Grip. However, he
Just try to use a froze.
Yeah. The Frost Burst happens, freezes him. Defensive interfere comes in.
The KFM tries to come in, but freezes himself.
They're going
Another interfere wasted.
Yeah, they're going back and forth, making each other waste their interferes. But you know, at the end of the day, Triple J will have the advantage if they just keep trading interfere points.
It's very true, and Suwon Lee will be out of that tag. And with the chase, what happened? The chase went too early, so the effort did not come to fruition as Haegang Jung will be out in the next 2 seconds. This will be OES chance actually to make that chase happen. It's a very close distance that the chase does happen.
What? The back roll chase did not happen though. He did land the first tag and chase, but the back roll didn't work. But he still does get him into the area.
Yeah, the stun does come into there. Another stun to continue the aerial. Offensive interference. The chain does come out. The Warlock is gonna be almost the chain up, but freezes him instead just in time to negate all of that damage. So very good job from the Force Master off of the interfere. Very good reactionary play there.
Wow, I almost thought that might have landed with that aerial timing, but you know that Force Master Haegang Jung coming in, that was good.
But definitely the animation is long enough that they can react to it, and that's the reason why Force Master came in to freeze him up just in time. But this is still, Triple J is completely aware of their situation. They know they're completely ahead, and they're just going to be comfortable for this situation to be flexible as to what strategy they're going to pull out in this late 2 minutes.
Yep, Haegang Jung comes out with that good save before. Now he still has 1 tag point, so he can tag out anytime that he wants. And they have so many interfere points on Triple J's side, so it's not looking too good for OYE right now overall.
Every time Suwon Lee tries to pull initiate, Haegang just finishes him, but that's going to be enough damage to finish out the destroyer, and it's going to be Jae-Yoo Kim out on the Warlock with the slimmest of health. This is going to be looking very bad of a situation. Now Jae-Jun Lee comes out on the Blade Master, looking to do some work on the Warlock, but the Warlock is trying to use the Sanctum, trying to make something happen. The time distortion does happen. Get some of his cooldowns back, but Jae-Jun Lee taking the damage from the Warlock, and it's going to be enough to finish him off, and it's going to be the Assassin now. This is 2v2 currently for both sides, so not the advantage that they were trying to push forward. It's not seemingly towards them anymore.
All right, this is not the advantage now. Jae-Jun Lee having 1 tag and 2 interferes, and dying with those 3 points is just gave away Triple J's 3 resource points.
And it's true, and the Jae-Yoo Kim's very composure play that he showed as soon as his teammate had died out was very good to counter that play, getting all death onto Jae-Jun Lee's Blade Master. So this team, both sides are completely even now.
Yeah, and OYE is out. Well, OYE has 2 interfere points left, but he's on the field, so he can't interfere for himself, and he is in the air. He can't have a defensive interfere come in because they are out.
Put him down onto the knockdown. That's going to be good enough to summon out
the counter damage.
But the Warlock damage is going to be almost enough to knock out Jae-Yoo Kim, but the Warlock still stays alive. He has to stay alive somehow, but that's not going to be enough effort to stay him alive. So 1 more final tag point being used by Triple J. This is a healthy Haegang Jung on the Force Master having to face out against the KFM to eventually get them just 2 points that they really need.
Yeah, and 1 minute mark, they did get that interfere point, so Haegang Jung is not too much in a rush, because he knows his teammate Juhan Lee has that interfere point. So let him heal up a little bit, to secure that win.
So definitely Haegang Jung will be looking for the opportunity to use that interfere to his advantage to get that finishing touch onto the KFM, but not looking for it now. Stun just come up to the Force Master, and there's going to be a chance for Suwon Lee to Silent Lee to do something with that.
Ult
actually does happen. Actually, to finish him off! And somehow this complete turnaround from OEE is happening. It's Silent Lee on the KFM. He's been really doing work on this class and really just giving the advantage right back to their team.
Wow. Oh, out of stealth! Into the area! This is basically over.
Oh, KFM is
stealth is going to be used. There we
damage.
go. Okay. Stealth was used.
So the Assassin, this is going to be go to the damage chart. Now it's even more confusing as to which the damage chart will go either way.
I think it's
very confusing.
It will be OYE, I think, because
it actually goes to Triple J on the damage chart. It was just close enough.
That wasn't that much a difference either.
They won.
Yeah.
We were talking about all these seemingly advantages that they carry on from this best of 4s to best of 7s. It doesn't matter if you win out the last match, you are the victor of the series, and Triple J and not OYE will be making up to the next round.
What are you talking about? It's
2-2. My apologies. I actually got too hyper there. I got too hyper there that Triple J. I'm very calm, but The damage shot was definitely a surprising fact from Triple J. We knew it was going to be close because the two-man death along with the healing mixed in from both sides could have made all the difference. So, but in the end, the damage shot did go over to Triple J. So with the slimmest of health that the last man remaining from Triple J, they survived. That was actually the key part to the victory.
Yeah, early game, definitely. Oh yeah, took a lot more damage. Look at this right now. Jae Kim living with that slimmest health, like 3%. They are healing up in the bench, but so now looking at the replays, it does seem as if Oh yeah did take the brunt of the damage. However, Triple J does have that Force Master who heals himself enough to kind of confuse that TKO damage chart. However, Triple J was still able to do more damage. Not like double, not too much, but it was close.
And
but
that ultimate that Comfort Master was beautiful.
Yeah, I almost thought, that Sang-Won Lee might have actually done enough damage at the end with the ult and that damage onto Jeju Lee.
Look at him stepping back as far as he can to avoid any of that damage in the last 2 seconds would have been the finish. Actually, if he had just put one damage onto that last man, Juan Lee, on the assassin, that actually would have been a win over to Oh yeah, and would have been the automatic win for the series. But now we're completely back to even, and Triple J is 2-2, and this is a chance for them to, with this last singles coming out, is going to be their chance to make it past Oh yeah and really get them to the second round.
Yeah, we'll have to see. The last match, the set 4, is going to be singles for whoever makes it up to the next round to verse Full Swing, and we have Juan Lee on the assassin again, and Sang-Won Lee on the assassin.
And the first time around, we saw who got the win. The first time they made it game 1, but Juan Lee is going to be looking to do the same thing over Sang-Won Lee, but Sang-Won Lee picked up the win the first game around. So Juan Lee, who was basically the victor of Triple J in the tag match, he's the one that really got them the win. He has to get them the win again. This is going to be the crucial one, get the last point, which is going to clinch them the series and make them advance in the second round.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see a rematch, a redemption, and a comeback too. So we'll see with this Assassin Mirror match who will take the victory. Because Juan Lee definitely has to redeem himself because he's going up against Sang-Won Lee, and the music has changed and we are getting ready for the last set. Let's get it on.
Here we are for the last match between Triple J and Oh yeah, and we're back to the Assassin Mirror match with Juhan Lee. Having lost at the first instance that he faced up against Sang-Won Lee, but Sang-Won Lee has looked good so far. He's doing all the work for Team Oh yeah, but maybe have to make one more exertion of moves to make this happen. But 100-0 was the last time around.
Yeah, Sang-Won Lee, but he is out of his tab escape first and his leaf. All right, so this is the opposite of what happened.
Could be.
Juan Lee lands 1 CC. It's going to be 100-0 for Sang-Won Lee.
And this the energetic of what Assassin can do, and just one stun is all he needs. But actually uses the flower to get back onto him. But 10 seconds is what he has to try to get a stun in. Does get into the aerial, but that's not going to be enough. A stun is exactly what he needs right now. Let's get into the air. The stun does happen, and it's going to be his effort. His effort to try to make it happen. The stun does go the other way. It's actually Sang-Won Lee might have enough to finish him off. The wedding does go on. And a good series of damage. And it's going to be knocking him off. Just enough to finish him off, and Sang-Won Lee with the Assassin Mirror match. We know how quick this can end. It's all about the one opportunity. It seems like Juan Lee had the opportunity coming for his way. He had the stun, and he also had the lack of escape from Sang-Won Lee. But it was his effort, but it didn't get a full series of damage that he needed to finish 100-0.
Yeah, well, now we know 4 to 5 seconds is not enough to finish him off. Because if he maybe had 2 more seconds on Sang-Won Lee's escape coming back, rather than having only 4 seconds, and maybe it was the cooldown was on 6 to 7 seconds, then Juan Lee would have had this in the bag. However, he landed that CC too late, 2 seconds too late, and he was unable to finish him off.
But in the end, this match is going to tell us that Triple J will be officially out of this Blade&Soul Korea Finals tournament. It was good effort by these guys to put up such a fight in Game 3 to put up a wonderful tag victory, but didn't get this same time around because, oh yeah, with the 7 lane on the Assassin, does it again. Putting in the damage from the Assassin towards the mirror match and gets another win. Now, oh yeah is out to the second round.
Yep, oh yeah will be going up against Full Swing in a best of 7. And Zangon Lee, wow, he's playing his KFM well, he's playing his Assassin well. No, this guy, now I understand why he registered these classes, because now he's proving himself to us that he is able to play all these classes very well.
He's definitely proved on his capabilities with these registered classes that he has put on, but we're going to go to a short break seemingly, and we're going to go back with the rest of the Group B action with Full Swing versus the OYA to decide the number 2 seed of Group B. So we'll get to a short break, so stay tuned.
세계적인 역사 최성균 인사 올리겠습니다. 어떻게 생각하지? 이런 식으로 상대방의 머릿속을 들어가서 팔을 내버리고 제가 텔레파시랑 보내보겠습니다. 뭐가 필요하십니까? 한 15초는 돌릴 수 있는 거예요. 상대방 타임. 어떻습니까? 그게 팀이에요? 그냥.
Welcome back to Blade&Soul Korea Finals. We're here at day 3 and we're at the final stage of day 3 where we have the Group B decider for number 2 seed. We're gonna be seeing actually seeing Oh Yeah face off against
Full swing.
Full Swing.
Full swing.
How do you feel about those two teams right now?
Well, we just saw Oh Yeah. They did perform very well. I was very impressed by Sang-won Lee because last week, if you guys remember, Sang-won Lee did go out for maybe 2 singles or 1 single, and he lost.
Yeah.
And the team seemed a little disappointed, but today he went out for singles. He won everything. Even during tag, he was able to land the KFM ults. So he did a lot of practicing. He did a lot of work today. So now I'm kind of like iffy on who's gonna take the victory for today. It's best out of 7 too.
And basically the key highlight of today's games was that in Group B with Oh Yeah was kind of the Sang-won Lee's really flexibility with those classes was a big surprise to us. He performed very well on the assassin when he did go out for the singles, but once he went out for the KFM in the tag match, he did very well on that as well. So as you see on the screen is going to be their opponents from last week. It's going to be Full Swing with Dongjunpar, Byungtae, and that's going to be the players that we're going to be seeing face off against Oh Yeah. But we're talking about always oppositions. We're talking about the opposition difference that they have. So we talk about Oh Yeah, who faced off against G-Touring, didn't do so well, but they're going to be facing Triple J and did well. Now they're facing another rookie team named Full Swing. But how do you expect this matchup to pull out?
Like Full Swing, like I told you, they're not like a total rookie team. The name is new, but Hyuk-Yeon and Byungtae, they did have a part in last year's tournament as well as early this season. So they're not like a super new team. Like it's not like all 3 of them are totally new. They have been participating. It's just that they haven't been making too far up later, up to the top tier tournaments or seats. So, Oh Yeah and Full Swing, they are both fairly experienced in the offline tournament in the Blade&Soul community. So we'll have to see who has prepared more for today.
And Oh Yeah and Full Swing is going to be the big question coming up here. They're going to be the deciders as to who makes it up to the championship stage as the number 2 seed from Group B. But as you see from the screen here, Oh Yeah has Jae Kim, Suwon Lee, and Sang-hoon Lee is going to be up for the stage here. They did very well against Triple J last time around, which got them onto the second round, but they're going to have to beat one more opponent to make their stage up to the championship.
And I just want to compare both teams because these 2 teams, other than Triple J, have played against G-Touring.
Yeah.
And Oh Yeah has lost in the first round 0-4.
Okay.
When it was best out of 3,
Yes.
best out of 4. And Full Swing lost 1-7 when it was the best out of 7 match. So I'm thinking, is 0-4 worse or 1-7 worse?
It tells the full story, but we're going to get some answers to that here with the first match with Byungtae versus Jae Kim. It's going to be the big one here. The Warlock mirror match is what we're going to be seeing for the first game of the series, but the Warlock from Jae Kim has done significantly well on the tag match that we saw in Game 3, but other than that, we haven't seen too much of this guy, so we don't know completely what to expect. So we're going to have to see the first singles to tell a tale as to which team has the stronger edge going on to the first match.
Yeah, and Warlock mirror match, I don't know if you guys remember, there's been a couple mirror matches throughout the seasons, and most of the time they're holding papers in front of their faces half the time, but it seems like we are ready to get into our first set. Let's get it on.
We are on to the first match between Full Swing and Oh Yeah, and as you mentioned, it is a Warlock mirror match, and there's always so many questions going into this specific matchup.
What did I say? They're going to be holding papers in front of their faces, and Jae Kim was able to find that split-second opening to land that Tellerblade, forcing Byungtae to use his tab escape first.
Already, and that's going to be Byungtae with the less of a disadvantage coming up with the familiar summoned on both sides. Be looking for the chance here, but Byungtae has to be a bit careful before he is stunned up by the opposition Warlock.
Yeah, they are trading their tab escapes. Jae Lee is now out of tab escape as well, whereas Byungtae will get his back in 7 seconds.
7 seconds is what he has to stall out because Byung-tae is going to be looking to go all in with the Familiar who is still summoned out. Both are now back onto the ground, and there's going to be a cooldown for the Familiar to be summoned back once again. But now with 8 seconds remaining on Jae Kim's cooldown on the Tab Escape, chance for something to happen, but the Familiar does get summoned out once again.
Alright, the body swap has been used by Jae Kim and Tab Escape, but the time distortion does give his Tab Escape back.
So good use of the time distortion to get the Tab Escape right back. And we're gonna choose to see how the Byung-tae has to really move forward with this advantage that he has. So he does have the time escape still available.
First aerial finally coming out from Byung-tae, doing some damage finally.
Byung-tae doing the good series of damage initially onto Jae Kim. It's gonna be the health difference so far between the two sides, but Jae Kim has to make something work with this. He does have the time distortion still on cooldown most likely, and he has the Tab Escape still if he wants to use it, but Byung-tae clearly with the advantage right now.
Alright, Tether Blade,
There.
They're just doing the same thing. It's a mirror match, obviously holding papers, trying to block off that Tether Blade, and they both still have the Tab Escape available.
And the characteristics of Warlock mirror matches is that they're both potentially have an advantage over the damage output that can actually put on both sides. So they're just really looking for that right opportunity to go all in on that. But right now, both sides still out of their Tab Escape right now.
Sanctum is put down. They're just trying to do as much damage as possible.
This is a good chance.
Now this is what happened. The leech happened. And he's, good, he's blocking some.
Jae Kim will likely be out with the little of health that he has remaining.
And he's out of all of his escapes. Jae Kim is not looking good.
It's true, and both full Familiars are out, with Byung-tae's Familiar now being summoned out. Now Jae Kim has to somehow survive, at least for this 5 seconds that he has left remaining on the cooldown. Let's get it back. Familiar is back out on both sides. There's going to be a chance for Jae Kim to make something happen of this. Jae Kim's going to be making an effort to do that, but it's going to be Byung-tae trying to put in the finishing touch onto the second, but 12 seconds and 10 seconds is what they have remaining. Jae Kim does heal some of his health back. So this is going to be the damage difference now onto the TKO. Most likely going to happen unless someone finishes
Two more seconds onto the TKO, and Byung-tae is most likely going to get the victory with this TKO.
And very likely he's going to go towards Byung-tae's side, seemingly doing more damage. Jae Kim even healing some of that damage back. So most likely he's going to go to the left side as we expected. So Byung-tae getting a heaps amount of damage difference over the advantage with the TKO. So the Warlock mirror match does end in a TKO over to the side, and that's going to be the first win.
And unfortunately, the Warlock mirror matches aren't as fun as when we see a Warlock in a tag, or like when a Warlock is going up against another class, because they're always putting up their paper in front of their face to try to block out that Tether Blade. And, you know, what can we do? That's what happens when a Warlock mirror match happens.
And that really is the characteristic of a Warlock mirror match, is that they really know what each other is going to do. And when you have so much expectations and so much knowledge of your own class, especially with a thing like a Warlock, it's going to be very tough to get some action going on to both sides.
Yeah, and it seems as if the replays actually did show or did catch the moments where the Warlocks are doing damage. And that was the first clip was of that first aerial doing some damage by damage being done by Byung-tae on Jae Kim, and the second time around as well. And this is the end of the match where Jae Kim was unable to do enough damage to Byung-tae, and the TKO, the damage chart went towards Byung-tae.
And definitely the advantage does go over to the Warlock, who makes that first series of damage that gets you an extreme amount of damage that it's really hard to pull off when one side does it, the opposite side makes it more difficult to get that same damage done to your opponent. So Byung-tae, having done that first series of damage onto it, got him to an extreme amount of advantage that he just had to hold on and hopefully finish him off. But even without finishing off, the TKO still went his way.
Yeah. Well, the first round goes to Byung-tae, full swing. Congrats. And now this is best out of 7, you guys. So yeah, 1 point might not matter too much, but to these teams, they won. This is their last chance to not be knocked out. So they're gonna give it their all.
So definitely full swing is going to be looking to push their advantage even further. Hyuk-Yan coming out, the Force Master this time around. He's going to be up against Sang-Hoon Lee, who has been the consistent performer for this OYED team, and especially in the previous series that we've seen him from. So we're going to have to see how he can bring back a point, hopefully, over to OES side, and full swing is going to be looking to push that advantage even further.
Yeah, and usually we'll see Sang-Hoon Lee, when he comes out in singles, he would usually most likely play the assassin, but today, this time against the Force Master, he brought out the KFM, and the music has changed. Getting ready for the second set. Let's get it on.
So seemingly, Sang-Hoon Lee felt the need to change his class when he's facing up against the Force Master. Obviously, the Assassin is rumored to be not that good against the Force Master, as we've seen from Jung-Ho Yoon's instance, examples that shown by him. So obviously, he's not the same Force Master as the likes of Jung-Ho Yoon, but Sang-Hoon Lee's still going to be as careful as he needs. He is very capable on the Kenpo Master that we've seen from him in the tag performances. Whether he can do it in the singles, we have to see.
All right, the Rising Dragon pulls him in. Hyukyeon is saving his second wind.
Yeah, and doing a good job of saving it as well, not taking too much damage before he is forced to use it. So another aerial onto him. He does it and put it on the stun now. Maybe he could use it now, but it still saves it for now. And now finally uses it.
And it actually lands, giving him the opportunity to put him into the aerial. The double knockup.
The double knockup is happening and putting the continuous amount of damage with that double knockup, and the meteor coming in, trying to put an additional amount, but doesn't happen with that. The triple kick trying to be attempted, but freezes himself, Hyukyeon, to negate that effect.
All right, they are both out of tab escape for the next 15 seconds to 20 seconds. Rising Dragon pulls him in, makes him use his backstep escape. Now the Force Master is out of all of his escapes right now.
But right now you have to mention that Sang-Hoon Lee is out of his tab escape as well. That's the advantage that he has with the other escapes still available to him now. Hyukyeon has his tab escape back.
Ooh, he grabs him.
Oh, this is
we haven't seen that grab in a while.
It's a very unusual sighting from a KFM to put him down on the ground to get some punches onto the face. So Hyukyeon taking some damage off of that as well. So healing up from it, I think Hyukyeon has to look for a potential finish. I think if he goes to the TKO now, he will be at a disadvantage compared to Sang-Hoon Lee.
Yep, Sang-Hoon Lee is actually playing very aggressive. Now they're both out of escapes. Triple kick lands.
Sang-Hoon Lee puts it into the aerial.
This
might
is not looking
be the
good.
finish. He doesn't have his escape still available. The stun does come out. It's going to be enough damage to finish him off. And getting a point back to himself. And Sang-Hoon Lee doing his work as he's done in the previous series now gets his team back on even 1v1.
Oh yeah, Sang-Hoon Lee. All right, bringing out the KFM was a good choice on his side. Takes two sets, being up 2. Now for this third set, we are going to be going into the tag, which is worth 2 points.
Yeah.
Let's see if Full Swing is going to come back and try to take away that 2 point.
It's actually right now 1v1 score right now. Getting the Sang-Hoon Lee, getting the point back. That's all right, but it's good. Getting the full points is going to be very important because we always know that the tag matches are very crucial in the way you can approach these remaining games left in the series. But and Full Swing currently even at 1v1. They're going to be looking to get that win in the tag and push that momentum forward.
Oh, yep. And now we are, what does that say? Oh, all right. So what the phone just said right now to it's the fan, and they're saying, let's walk on a pretty flower blossom.
It just wishing the best of luck.
Yeah, of course.
That's kind of the
But I was trying to literally translate it walk on flower ground.
So walking on flower ground might not be the most familiar term for our foreign viewers out there, but in the end, we have and Full Swing now trying to tackle it into even. Now, 1 point advantage, which is going to be 2 points if they win out this set. It's going to be huge for both sides because we don't know the power level differences of these two teams quite yet. We look at these teams and we're kind of considering them even as to right now, but who gets the win in the tag is going to be really a statement maker to the remaining parts of the series.
Yeah, we'll see how much of a difference the winner makes with this set, with this third set, because it's going to actually, like you said, tell us which side might have the better teamwork, which side might have the better skill set with this third match, with this tag team match that's coming up.
And we've seen in many instances where singles does not literally translate into the tag performances, where the teams who have been spectacular in singles does not necessarily do well in tags, and we've seen instances of that. So it's a completely different game for sure. We're going to move right on to game 3, which is going to be the first tag of this series between and Full Swing. It's currently 1v1 even. We're going to see who takes the lead with that 2 points coming out. We're going to let's get into the match. Let's get it on. And here we are for the important Game 3, the first tag match between Ouya and Full Swing. We're going to have the Warlock mirror match. And
but it's a tag. We'll have interferes. We'll have tag outs. So, you know, it's okay. It will be...
But a semi-resident sleeper is confirmed with the Warlock mirror matches all the time because we know that familiars, being someone on both sides, is going to try to attack each other, but not too much damage. So unless an opportunity does arise for either of these players, the damage output won't be there. So, you know, good use of these interferes will be the crucial point to watch out for.
Yep. Warlock mirror match for you guys. Come on. Here we go.
So the cooldown already halfway done. It's going to be seemingly close to being done, and both familiars will be out of the field momentarily soon.
Ooh, the first damage is happening by Byungtae.
Okay, so this is going to be forcing out the interfere from both sides. A defensive one from Ouya trying to negate much of that damage. So Byungtae doing a good job of getting the first series of damage against the Warlock. So getting the papers up, trying to negate any potential damage coming up. So the time distortion does come back up. So it's going to get the cooldowns back onto the play.
Kim taking some damage right now. He also uses time distortion. Gets his escape back as well.
So both teams right now trying to use that time distortion toward their advantage.
The Tether Blade actually did land on Jae Kim, forcing him to use his tab escape once again.
Yeah, and that's going to be a one. Jae Kim, the Warlock without the tab escape available, but also didn't have the time distortion still available yet. So he's going to be left without that cooldown of the tab escape for a moment, it feels like.
Yeah, both sides, 5 seconds left until the force tag out. Let's see what happens. Finally, the Warlock mirror match has ended.
So it'll be on both sides going out.
There we go.
Neither side is going for the chase, obviously. The distance was a little too far to make an effort to do
We have another rematch, Hyukyeon's Force Master versus Sangwonli's KFM. We just saw that last round.
Sangwonli bringing out the KFM for this tag match like he did in the previous series. He did well from the last time showing, so Hyukyeon has to make something happen out of this. He already used the tab escape to get out. And that's a very early tag out onto the Destroyer.
I don't know why Sangwonli tagged out when he was the one with the advantage. Maybe he wanted to hand off to the Destroyer to, you know, a Force Master without any escapes. However, you know, the Force Master ends up tagging out. Nothing too much has been done.
Yeah. But we know many instances where a careless tag point will come back to bite you in the back once it gets to the late game. So whether Full Swing will really regret this, will regret this opportunity, we'll have to see. But not really coming into fruition because Sangwonli, Suwonli actually taking on the Destroyer is taking a lot of damage, and already another tag point being used. So 2 tag points already used by Team Ouya.
Yeah, but you know, the health bar is pretty even right now. The Destroyer taking that much damage isn't too much of a big deal right now for them. Let's see if Byungtae can make an aerial move for an offensive interfere. There we go, Tether Blade.
And there we go for the familiar being summoned out onto Ouya's side. Another familiar will be found out, but it's going to be Byungtae actually taking the damage off of that initial attack. Oh, actually putting more damage onto Jae Kim as well.
Kim taking a lot of damage in return for doing a little damage to Byungtae.
Distortion, but actually putting the damage back onto Byungtae's side. It's going to be enough damage, almost knocking him out, but only to use the tag. Now the Blade Dancer Dongjin Park is now back onto the field. There's going to be a chance for Ouya to make something happen because that series of damage got them a lot of advantage. But actually there's enough damage from the Warlock in the field. It's going to be good enough. The lightning draw enough to finish him off. And now Jae Kim is out of the field. Now 1 man down for Ouya.
Byungtae interferes in and revenges his damage taken and gives it back to Jae Kim, knocking him out.
So the combination of the Warlock damage along with the lightning draw from the Blade Dancer was enough to finish Jae Kim out. So now Full Swing is going to be very happy with their 1 man advantage.
Yeah, but you know, don't get too confident because this happened before and the team with that 1 man advantage ended up losing. So we'll have to see throughout the whole match.
Definitely we can't call any teams out until the game is actually over, but definitely an advantage will be likable towards Full Swing. So Ouya has to do something to get their advantages right back. They're lacking a lot of tag points, and if you notice on the screen here, Jae Kim died with 2 tag points available. So just a lot of resources being wasted. He didn't even use any of his interferes as well. So there's going to be a lot of resources being lost. An ultimate coming out from the Force Master, freezing him up.
I'm glad that you mentioned about that point because 2 and 3 point and fine with that. that's just basically giving away your advantage. Not just you dying, but the points is very important in this tag match.
Okay, the Sanctum and the time distortion coming back to bring back the cooldown. But for Hyekian on the Force Master, trying to stall sometimes as he needs, because right now just stalling a good amount of time will be good for Full Swing. They have the advantage and they can just carry forward.
All right, there we go. He rams in. The back step escape is used.
Definitely on the side of Suwon Lee.
Oh,
The ultimate actually kind of
no.
happening, putting some
Escape.
damage onto him.
All right, the defensive interfere comes in.
The Byakuté Chair comes out.
All right, it's not bad. The defensive interfere plus the tab escape has been used.
Yeah. And definitely the Byakuté Chair has to look on the Warlock using the Sanctum, trying to negate any of that damage. But the Destroyer can be looking for one opportunity to put in that all amounts of damage that he really needs to knock out a player just literally in a second.
Alright, the Leech did land, but not doing too much to the Destroyer right now.
So the interfere coming in from both sides, not doing too much damage to either side. So definitely Suwon Lee doing a good job of holding on for his team, but holding on is not going to be what Oya is looking for. He's going to have to somehow find some advantage through this.
Yeah, Dongjun Park on the Blade Dancer. First time seeing him today in this tag. Oh, there we go. He makes his first move. Cat escape is used by the Destroyer.
The Blade Dancer's chance to make something happen. The stun does come up on the Blade Dancer. He still has his tab escape still on cooldown, so it's a chance for Suwon Lee to make something happen out of this. Another stun could get him a good opportunity. There he goes. That's another stun that we've been talking about. The Dutch and clean combo, putting in some good amount of damage, and that's going to be a counter attack coming from Dongjun Park, and the interfere coming into the area onto the chain, and that's going to be the second knockout, and it's going to be enough damage to knock him out, and the Destroyer is gone in an instant, and the KFN's Suwon Lee is the only man left standing for yeah.
Yeah, and for that Destroyer, that's what happens when you guys use up your tag points early, and when you have Jae-Yu Kim die with 2 tag points and 3 interfere points. This is from the start, you know, full swing
the Meteor is onto the
Ooh.
full damage output. It's going to be the end of it for and Full Swing, to our surprise, gets the 2 points back.
Yeah, and now Full Swing is up 3-2-1. 3-2-1. Yeah,
Yes.
3-2-1. Yeah, I'm counting down. Yeah, 3-2-1. But anyways, yeah, Full Swing does take this third set, obtaining 2 points, giving them 3 points in total. Having 1 point, they are down. Now we are back to 2 more single matches. Our 4th and 5th set are single matches worth 1 point each.
And this series is definitely getting exciting, because even with that tag match showing between the two sides in Game 3, Full Swing definitely got the win, but it was definitely not a one-sided match by any means. I think both sides really put out the efforts to get the win, and it was fairly even until the very end, where they had the crucial damage output to knock out the 2-man. But I think it's exciting to see where this series will fold out, because I don't think it's definitely not towards Full Swing's clinch win yet.
Yeah, it's not like a clinch, it's not like a sweep. However, that moment where Jae-Yu Kim made the mistake of not tagging out and just dying with full points on his side, that was when, you know, they just gave Full Swing the win. Because if that didn't happen, and if Jae-Yu Kim was able to survive even with the slimmest health, maybe this game would have turned out a little more differently or closer, or maybe even would have had the chance to win. I don't know, who knows? You never know. However, Jae-Yu Kim just dying, look at that, with 2 and 3 points. That just gave Full Swing the upper hand.
And that was the actual huge advantage going towards Full Swing in the end, because of that
Warlock ult at the end.
Beautiful chains of that CC to get that finishing touch onto the Destroyer. The Meteor taking the full stack of that to finish him off, but it was going to be eventual win for Full Swing nonetheless, even if that didn't happen. But what we're going to be talking about is the remainder of this series is what we're going to happen. The singles have been going towards Full Swing's side, but also to putting some statements onto the singles. So we really don't know until the very end who's going to take out the series.
Yeah, so now we are back to 2 singles, and as you just said, first and second set, they took 1 point apiece. So we'll see if that's going to happen again and just take one point apiece and then go into the finals for the tag matches. Or maybe one side will take both points and make the the opponent shiver.
But I should say that Oya is really needing those 2 points back, having just lost the 2 points just now. And it's going to be the situation where Oya has to get the 2-win singles onto this way. But the first one in this series will be Suwon Lee on the Destroyer against Dongjun Park's Blade Dancer. The Blade Dancer is going to be spinning around the Destroyer, trying to get some work done, but one opportunity is what the Destroyer needs to get the finishing touch onto the Blade Dancer.
No, the Destroyer is going to be spinning on the Blade Dancer. What are you talking about?
They're
both going to spin.
Putting in that Destroyer mobility ending.
They're both going to spin. They're going to Typhoon. They're going to Vortex all day long. But yeah, we'll have to see if whoever gets that knockdown first, makes that opportunity first. The Blade Dancer does have that flock of blades, so the Destroyer cannot grab him hastily.
But we're going to actually see who can get the advantage early on, because that's going to be the crucial point. We're going to be watching on between OEM and Full Swing. The next singles coming right your way, so let's get it on. Here we are for game 4 of the side between OEM Full Swing. We have Dongjin Park on the Blade Dancer up against the Suwon Lee on the Destroyer for OEM. But as you mentioned, they're going to be spinning around each other, trying to look for the opportunity, but a good opportunity will get them the damage output that they're really desiring for.
Yep, and Full Swing is up 3. OEM only has just 1 point, so they do want to win these singles right now that are coming up. And Judgment Cleave combo
from that stun. He still hasn't used the Tab Escape to our surprise. The Judgment Cleave combo should have been an initiative to use that Tab Escape, which he uses finally now. But Dongjin Park took a lot of damage before he had to use that relatively lately.
Yeah, well, Suwon Lee is kind of comfortable now, having both his Tab Escapes.
Oh, this is chance. The stun is going to come out.
Oh, the Flock of Blades.
Ooh, actually gets him out of that crucial finishing touch that would have been there for Suwon Lee.
Spin. But yeah, the Blade Dancer is out of. He's gonna get his Tab Escape back in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
The Destroyer hasn't used any of his escapes yet. Playing a very aggressive Phantom Grip. Escapes finally with
Tab Escape. Yeah, the Tab Escape is finally being used for that Phantom Grip. There's gonna be a chance for this Tab Escape, but Dongjin Park is taking a lot of damage. But there's gonna be a chance another Tab Escape coming in, very smartly used this time around for Dongjin Park. He's gonna have to use some kind of work to make this happen, because both sides are out of their Tab Escape. One hit ought to do it for Dongjin Park, though.
This is a chance for the Blade Dancer to do some damage. Come on, here we go.
Leading to a lightning draw, though. The lightning draw happening now. There's going to be enough damage.
There we go. Persistence finally used.
Yes. And it's going to be getting the Tab Escape will be back for the Destroyer now. The Blade Dancer will have his in the next 5 seconds. But Suwon Lee.
Oh, the reflect right there.
There's going to be the knockdown into the area onto the second area. Most likely the lightning draw is still on cooldown, so he won't be able to use that. So Suwon Lee, seemingly ahead in the early game, is now, health-wise, he's definitely behind Dongjin Park at the moment.
Yeah, but we'll have to see what happens. There we go, doing some damage.
That's actually good enough damage onto Dongjin Park. This is going to be very even as to so far, but Dongjin Park getting some of his health back. Both teams, I think, are really looking for the KO here. They're not going to look for the TKO.
Yeah, they definitely want to knock them down, but they both basically have the Tab Escape, and first stun happens.
Does happen. This going to be, might be the end for Dongjin Park here. Actually, does another stun, but he doesn't get it. Continue on with the damage. Doesn't happen, but the Tab Escape comes in just in time for Dongjin Park, which gets him to escape from that damage output. Now, 30 seconds is what they have remaining on both sides. TKO would be a very confusing output as to the calculation of who did the more damage.
Yeah, Destroyer ends up using Persistence because he was out of chi, and now he is playing aggressive. There we go, the stun lands, and he is gonna finish it off with the Judgment Cleave combo on top of that Ember Stop.
Somehow escape. Dongjin Park does back roll out of that. So 10 seconds is all he had. Whether it's going to go TKO or someone's going to finish someone off, we have to see. The 5 seconds is all we're going to have left. I think both players may be looking for the TKO.
Oh!
This might be the chance. But
back roll,
last point of damage from the Blade Dancer is going to be the last point of action before we get to see who got the advantage regarding the damage.
I'm just going to...
The jumping destroyer. He was celebrating with joy before it even ended. So very much aside to the Destroyer who gets the damage output. It was really hard to calculate because of the healings and the mixed in there. So it was very tough to calculate, but in the end, Destroyer gets a slight edge on the calculation for the TKO.
Yeah, that was a very close game. It was actually more exciting compared to the Warlock mirror match, to be honest. Yeah. Even though this wasn't a mirror match, they were busy spinning, but there was a lot of reflex. The Blade Dancer using dual strike as immune or iframe. It was a fun game, but the Destroyer does take the win.
But
did more
fair,
damage,
yeah,
and he did get in some Judgment Cleave combos.
He did, and that's what I want to talk about. Is that early game for Suwon Lee was that he got a lot of advantages in the damage chart, so it was very deserving of him to win in the end. But that was the counterattack you see for the Blade Dancer here with the Lightning Draw, putting onto the consistent amount of damage. But in the end, the Destroyer Suan Lee had done enough job to get the damage advantage in the end.
Yeah, the Blade Dancer just unable to get that aerial combo with the lightning draw.
Yep.
If he could have used just one more combo, he could have won. He would have gotten more damage done compared to the Destroyer. But he actually, from what I remember, one double knockups and one lightning draw combo. So that wasn't enough for the damage chart to be on his side.
And just a reminder that the second aerial combo that the Blade Dancer tried to do, the lightning draw was on cooldown at that moment.
Yeah,
so
of course.
that additional amount of damage that would have been secured wasn't there for the Blade Dancer. Maybe that would have been enough to get him ahead in the damage chart. But we're going to go to the next singles with set 5 with Byung-tae on the Warlock. This time, not against the Warlock mirror match, but it's going to be against Simon Lee on the Assassin.
Yep, Sang-won Lee is just coming out with KFMs and Assassins, switching it off.
Doing very well.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how Sang-won Lee performs, because last time around we saw a Warlock versus Assassin, and the Assassin just kept killing the Familiar. Like, whenever he comes out, just kill the Familiar. Just kill the Familiar.
Kept poking it left and right, and that's the Familiar. Poor Familiar had to die out in the end, so we're going to see how Simon Lee, who's been performing relatively well for this entire series and the previous series, so he's going to be looking to get them a point back. Simon Lee is going to be looking to get a point back for OEM, but this is going to be the next single, the final singles of the series between OEM and Full Swing. We're going to see who gets that final crucial point. Let's get this match underway. Let's get it on. As we mentioned earlier, this is the last singles between these two sides of OEM and Full Swing. Now we see Byung-tae on the Warlock against Simon Lee on the Assassin. But Simon Lee, as we mentioned previously, he has been performing very consistently.
The Tether Blade actually lands, putting him into the aerial. Sang-won Lee taking some damage. Just back rolls out though.
With the Poison Breath trying to get the counter attack on him, but the chain into the aerial took him a lot of damage before he had the chance to put in that counter.
Yeah, Sang-won Lee actually took the first damage, the first blood. However, Byung-tae also took enough damage. The health bar looks pretty even right now.
Yeah, it does, and Sang-won Lee still has all of his tab escapes available, whereas Byung-tae does still have his tab escapes available. With all of their escapes available, they're going to have to look to get an opportunity if the body swap does happen. Gonna get to happen.
The leaf was used by Sang-won Lee.
is
Oh my
just
god, tons of damage. Finally, tab escapes out.
Yeah, the tab escape used a relatively unreactionary, as to say, from Byung-tae. He could have taken a lot less damage if he has used it earlier.
But he would have taken this much damage afterwards, so he wanted Sang-won Lee to use more CCs before he used his tab escape. However, Sang-won Lee played it very smart.
Yes.
And the body swap was used, and now it's basically done.
Stun, and that's going to be good enough. But I'm telling you, but using that tab escape against an assassin is such a mind game to always consider, because you never know what is to come next if you use it relatively early. But if you use it too late, you already took all the damage.
Wow. Okay, so Oya takes this as well. I think it evens up the score 3-3, so we will be skipping set 6 and going into set 7, or it's gonna say set 6, but it's gonna be worth 2 points, to, 3 points actually, to finish off this series.
And it's going to be the final game of the series between Full Swing and OEA. We saw that Full Swing won the tag match last time around, but OEA, like we mentioned, was this the capable story of getting 2 points back with the 2 singles victory. But now the team is back to even. We're completely back on even ground. But the difference is that Full Swing won the last tag match, so they're going to be thinking they're going to be ahead in this particular tag match once again.
Yeah, and we'll have to see, because like we said, the tag match, if Jae-Woo Kim didn't die with that 2 tag and 3 interfere points,
it would have been very different.
Yeah, we wouldn't know what would have happened. So this time around, let's see if OYA has actually fixed their flaws, fixed their mistakes of Jae-Woo Kim or anybody dying with many points, and try to drag it out at least.
And just tracking back to that game 3 of the first tag, Jae-Woo Kim, along with the entire side of OYA, has been ahead in the early game against Full Swing in that tag match. But like you said, just that dying with so many resources available was what got that transfer of the advantage over to Full Swing, which got them win in the end. But it's going to be so much of a situational thing that we have to consider. We don't know who's going to be the victor in the end, obviously, but we have to consider all these options as we approach the last game of the series. But how do you see this folding out?
Well, like I said, we'll have to see. If somebody dies with like a lot of resources, then yeah, that team is going to have a hard time. However, we'll have to get into this last set, and I'm pretty sure Oh Yeah has actually prepared a new teamwork, a new plan for this last set, and it seems like we are ready for the last set. Let's get it on.
All of a sudden, the last match of day 3. We have had a marathon of Group A and Group B action, but this is going to be the last match of this series between Full Swing and Oh Yeah to decide the number 2 seed of Group B. We see Byung-tae on the Warlock coming out first for Full Swing, whereas Sang-Won Lee on the Assassin. Oh, actually he comes out on the Assassin instead of the KFM.
That's what I wanted to say, but you took that away from me.
But in the end, we gotta see the difference maker here, because Sang-Won Lee usually comes out with the KFM on the tag matches, but he comes out with the Assassin this time around. We have to see what difference that makes in the actual results.
Yeah, if they lose, he might also think, like, oh, I should have just came out with the KFM. But we'll see how the outcome, what the outcome will be. And it seems like so much is going on, but they're healing back and forth. So the health bar is staying pretty even, where Sang-Won Lee has used his leaf already.
Yeah. Sang-Won Lee does get up into that chain, but really no damage coming out from that from Byung-tae. The Warlock always looking for that one opportunity. Interfere is a good chance to get that done, but Sang-Won Lee taking the more damage compared to Byung-tae.
Ooh, body swap was actually used by Byung-tae.
Yeah, and it's gonna be the Interfere coming in from both sides onto the webbing, trying to get some damage onto him, but Sang-Won Lee still not taking much damage off of that, but so Interfere going in effectively towards both sides.
Yep, very effective. Good interference on both sides. Reactionary, saving both of their teammates. And now the smoke bomb has been put down.
And Byung-tae has just used his Tabasco along with Sang-Won Lee, who just used it as we speak.
Yeah, they're both out, and Sang-Won Lee does get his leaf back, so he's going to play it a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, and 10 seconds is all they have before they will be tagged out with a free tag point. Coming up, Byung-tae onto the landmine, that doesn't connect. So it's going to be free tag coming into both ways. The chase trying to happen there. The Blade Dancer gets the advantage off of that chase. And the second aerial does go up in. The Interfere coming in, trying to be defensive towards the same, trying to save his teammate.
With the Iron Fortress used by the Blade, not the Blade, the Destroyer with that Interfere. Good play by the Destroyer right now.
And Jae Kim, he's basically the center of attention here, and he died out with the three Interferes and 2 tags available. So he best not that dude this time around, because he's going to have the resources given back to Full Swing. He doesn't want that to happen again.
Yeah, the health bar seems pretty even still 3 minutes into the game.
But actually the Force Master, along with Blade Dancer's aerial knock-up, and that's going to be putting a lot of damage from the Force Master Interfere. It's a very good play by Full Swing to get a slight advantage just from the damage charge so far.
Yeah, so as I was saying, the health bar being even, they're proving me wrong. Yep. They did a lot of damage to the Destroyer right now with the area, with the offensive Interfere. And now the Blade Dancer is taking some damage. Tags out.
Tags out the first tag point being used by Full Swing. As you know, Oh Yeah have already used their 1 tag point already. So Sang-Won Lee on the Destroyer is going to be trying to spin around, trying to make something happen for his side, but really nothing coming from the Destroyer so far.
Yeah, the Destroyer is actually trying to wait it out, heal himself, because he wants to save his tag point as much as he can, unless it's a real crucial point where he has to tag out, and his health is slowly going down. Oh, then he ends up using his tag.
And the Assassin comes right on. As soon as he gets to the stun onto the Poison Breath, that's going to force him to use a tag right away. And Byung-tae is out on the Warlock, but this is going to be looking for the trouble for Sang-Won Lee.
Back rolls out, saves his escapes.
Both sides having the escape available. This is going to be to their advantage. The Warlock trying to put in the damage onto Sang-Won Lee. There's going to be enough damage onto him. The Assassin almost knocked out if the damage had continued.
Yeah, I don't even know why the secret code is coming out in the middle of the match, but there it is.
You can type it as long as you want, but we're going to focus on the game because Sang-Won Lee is going to be on the crucial edge. He's going to have to tag out. Sometime soon he's out of his escapes and doesn't have enough health to live. This is a mistake, could be. And that's going to be the crucial mistake going on to Oh Yeah. And that's going to be 1 man out. And crucially, Sang-Won Lee, their most trusted player, is going to be already down for Team Oh Yeah.
with 2 tag points and 2 interfere points.
Happening again.
This is deja vu, just a different player. What is going on? Oh yeah, Jae-Yu Kim is actually alive still.
And definitely we saw in the observer's view that he had definitely enough time to tag out once he did, but he got a little bit greedy there, trying to stay out for a few more seconds, but that was crucially the death of him, and that's going to be the one man down for Oh Yeah. It's going to be full swing, feeling very good about their situation.
Yep, and Suwon Lee, the Destroyer, has no interfere, so he cannot save him. We just have to rely on Jae-Yu Kim to stay alive or tag out at the right moment, and he is out on the field by himself for the next 50 seconds unless he decides to tag out.
And Jae-Yu Kim was definitely the one guilty of losing the game for Oh Yeah the first time they made the tag matches, but he had to do a lot better time to redeem himself for his team. And now Hyukyun is coming back out of the Force Master with all of his resources still available. So Jae-Yu Kim, this is his chance to put in the damage from the Warlock, put in the damage with the Familiar, the interfere forced out from full swing, trying to get most of that damage. The ultimate is gonna happen, but not to enough damage.
Yeah.
Good effort.
It looked good.
Good effort by the Force Master, always the
animation.
Force Master ultimate trying to be an animation killer, but it didn't lead to any type of damage that they wanted.
Yeah. Well, right now it seems as if, full swing is a little laid back. All of them having...
The final tag point haven't been used by Jae-Yu Kim. Now he is crucially out of his tag point with Suwon Lee. He's the only one with the tag point available. He has very little health that he has to work with, but Hyukyun, along with his 2 other teammates, the old Blade, the Destroyer ultimate, trying to get the damage onto it, nothing really coming from it.
Yeah, it makes sense that the Destroyer is out because he is the one with the tag point, and Jae-Yu Kim is the one with 2 interfere points. He could come in with the interfere 2 times to save or for the offensive interfere. So, Suwon Lee definitely wants to make an opportunity to do something.
Definitely, we see the clear advantages definitely towards the full swing side, where Hyukyun is relatively healthy, but you see these other 2 teammates with all of their ultimates available and full health as well. So all the tag points still available for every teammate in the side of full swing. It's a huge advantage they can carry forward as long as they can make it work right.
Yeah, in 25 seconds they'll get one more interfere points and they do tag out. Okay, now Jae-Yu Kim is out all on his own. Until he is force tagged out.
This is a very dangerous situation for Jae-Yu Kim and the rest of the OES side. They have to make some kind of miracle happen because that one split of damage is what they're going to be looking for, because the one crucial CC, they're not going to have an interfere from Suwon Lee to make that help out easier.
Well,
but
in 3 seconds he'll get 1 point.
Yeah, it's the 3-minute mark, gets him the 1 interfere points back. So Suwon Lee trying to use that interfere most likely to get that crucial damage onto the side of the full swing. The ultimate does not connect.
Okay, but he is taking some damage.
Jae-Yu Kim trying
to... okay, that was a good interfere by Suwon Lee. Iron Fortress saving his teammate, but now he is really out of it, interferes.
Yeah, and crucially, they're out of all of the resources they can probably use. Jae-Yu Kim has 3 interferes available. That's not going to matter because he's already out on the field. Unless he can stay alive for the next 40 seconds, but that's not going to be looking like good true. And then the 35 seconds is not enough for him to withstand, and Jae-Yu Kim is out. The second man out for Team OEM, full swing, looking in full momentum, carrying this game forward.
Yeah, it just seems as they're just going to run off with the victory here. 3-2-1. Look at all their resources. They could just tag back to back to back after cooldowns. Yeah, it just seems as if Full Swing is now on a comfortable road to victory.
And the amount of wealth they have available, this is going to be an easy knockoff to eventually grant them the #2 seed, and it does go over to Full Swing over Oh Yeah.
Yep, so Full Swing does make it up. Congrats. It was actually a pretty close game.
Very close,
It wasn't a sweep or like, one team having only just 1 point. It was pretty close. So,
and I think all 6 members really tried their efforts to really make this tag match work out. But once again, like we had in Game 3, it was definitely Oh Yeah's crucial mistake for one individual member that really counted out everything. We saw Silent Lee on the Assassin. He had a chance to tag out when he had the opportunity, but he didn't use it. And he ended up dying with 2 tag points and 2 interfere points. As I remember, that was the resource that he just threw down to the ground and gave that advantage all the way over to Full Swing.
Yeah, so every tag, the first tag, Jae-Yu Kim died with full resources.
Yeah.
The second tag, Sang-Won Lee died with almost full resources. So I don't know, like I said after the first match where Jae-Yu Kim died with all the resources, I said, as long as they were able to, use the resources and not die with so many, they might have a chance to win. But they ended up doing the same thing.
And
again.
that is the important point that you mentioned, Ending, is that the resources given over to the other team is such a crucial thing, especially in the late game when you have very little man available. The manpower that you have late in the late game is potentially going to be much less in the early game. So, you know, having that less amount of resources is going to be the crucial point. We saw it once again translate over from Game 3 all the way to this final game of the series now. Now we congratulate just Full Swing, having made it to the championship round as a number 2 seed of Group B.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's going to show up on screen very soon. But yeah, from Group A, we have GFAM and No Name who made it up to the champion stage. And from Group B, we have G-Touring and Full Swing who made it up to the champion stage. And starting tomorrow, finally, we get to see the champion stage.
And I'm sure you guys have been waiting for these big names to make their appearances once again. The GC Busan teams and also the Coup d'etat along with IDEPS will be the teams that you'll be seeing tomorrow. As we see, the right side didn't win all of it today.
The right side superstition has been broken.
And it has been broken last week just with one match going towards the left side. It's happening again. So the right side, it's not completely a factual thing. So as Full Swing gets their win over OEN and clinch themselves as the number 2 seed from Group B, heading into the championship round. And as you mentioned, we're going to be seeing those teams, the faces that we really want to see starting tomorrow.
Yeah, so starting tomorrow, we'll have a total of 8 teams, GC Busan Blue and Red, Coup d'etat, IDEPS, and the 2 teams from each Group A and Group B. So a total of 8 teams. And tomorrow, there we go, we see on screen tomorrow best out of 4s, most likely tomorrow, because it is the first day of champion stage tomorrow.
So you'll get to see all the 4 teams that you guys really wanted to see with the GC Busans and also the Coup d'etat and the IDES. You'll see all 4 of them starting tomorrow. And we'll get to see which team will be placed into each bracket to see which the opponents are going to be. But it's just really, I'm really excited to see all these 4 teams back again.
Yeah, exactly. And tomorrow, I'm saying tomorrow like a lot of times, but yeah, anyways, tomorrow, usually on Sunday KST, we would have it 1300, but tomorrow, again, I said tomorrow again, but it will be 12 p.m. just for tomorrow. So just be aware.
So just a reminder that tomorrow's games will not start at 1300 as we usually do on Sundays, but it will start at 12 Korean Standard Time. So be there a little bit 1 hour early, or you can just remind yourself that it's the same time as you just started today. So if you checked in with us at 1200 Korean Standard Time, you can just do the same thing tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. I want to stop saying tomorrow. But anyways, today's matchups, there was a lot of twists.
It was.
No Name making it up there.
Chobo getting knocked out.
Them painting the big pictures, and Chobo getting knocked out. Sin, you know, kind of.
We just wanted to see more of him. That's the thing.
Because he performed so well. I know that he could have done so much better, but unfortunately, his team was beaten. And we have Full Swing. And Full Swing was the 2 teams that, you know, we couldn't decide on, but, you know, it was a good game today. It was a good day.
But nonetheless, we had a great day 3. We're going to be back with day 4 with you guys tomorrow with more Blade&Soul action coming your way on Sunday. Check in with us at 1200 Korean Standard Time, and we'll be back to see those 4 teams that we've always wanted to see. So stay tuned with us, and we'll be right back tomorrow.
My back's against the wall, trapped in the corner like some kind of animal. I won't be beaten, broken, left here in the dark. You're never gonna know what it's like to have someone to turn